It's episode 20 of Around the Mage Table. Guys, do you think we'd ever make it this far?
No.
I knew you'd make us make it this far.
Drag us along this far. Yeah.
I knew you would make it this far.
Yeah.
I thought some of us may get fired by now.
Well, I
Some
thought you
people
would have
did.
quit a couple times. Speaking of who these people are, I am Frankenberry, and to my left is Shawnee. Shawnee, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm great. I got a really great thrift find at the Dalaran the other day.
Okay, tell us about it.
What's that then?
The WoW cookbook.
Whoa, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's open a restaurant.
I found some books
it's
on.
zoomy.
Yeah.
Doesn't look great. But anyway,
It
it's the
doesn't
WoW
look like a
cookbook.
face, so it's not
Yeah.
just blurring.
A ton
I
of
guess-
their books hit consignments because I have a consignment store in Ollie's where I live, and they had a ton of like Overwatch art book, like WoW lore book and stuff, and they were like $5 a pop. So check your consignments. You might find some shit they're trying to pawn off.
$47 Canadian, got it for $5 Canadian.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if
Which
they're
is
trying
like,
to clear
what,
out their online
45 cents
store.
or something?
It's like $3.50 American.
Yeah,
Got it.
breaking news. They're trying to clear out their store. They're selling everything on consignment.
Tekniq always
Check 'em
will call me when he's drunk on Saturday nights and say, "Oh man, Frankie baby, we need to open up a restaurant and make it a gaming themed menu." And always says like, "Yeah, we'll just do a whole bunch of WoW themed meals and we'll have a gamer bar and it'll be, you know, we can host a
Don't give the
podcast from
fucking
there."
plan away, Frank. Jesus Christ, I'm trying to retire soon.
Yeah. What was the other
Trying to
idea? You wanted
burn-
to do a food truck that just served like fine steaks that were like sliced
Yeah,
up.
like just chunks of steak. If I was drunk, leaving a bar, you know, everything else is at my disposal. But when I'm waiting for my Uber and I see a fucking cart that serves like amazing steak bites, I want that.
He's
Want
talking
that.
about he's worried about his retirement. He sounds like he's trying to set his retirement on fire.
All right, below Shawnee, Scrapclaw. How's the Elden Ring saga
I'm on the last
continuing?
boss of the DLC and it sucks ass. It's
So-
so,
so-
hard.
Does that mean once this is done, you're putting the game down, or is there still more that you want to do?
No. I mean, I beat the DLC, but I'm gonna finish the last boss, and I'm gonna charge through New Game Plus, finish all the endings I haven't finished yet. Just because I have all these stupid, overpowered weapons, and I kind of just thrash through the whole game like really fast. I killed Melania in like 30 minutes last night, and I've been stuck on consort for like 3 hours. If you know, you know. But I'm almost there. I get that 5% pull, so.
New Game Plus. So a friend of mine, a personal friend of mine, who's kind of peruses the Discord, Cody.
Yeah.
He said that he started a New Game Plus instead of starting the DLC by accident. What is even New Game Plus, and how the hell do you even do that?
Okay, I don't know how you do that. I've done that before by accident, but that was like the first time I played a Souls game. If you do the last boss, you do not get to roam around in the world after that. You have to,
Okay.
you start over in New Game Plus, and everything's a little bit harder. It's not a large percentage harder. You're still going to thrash through most of the early game stuff. But basically, he just made it a little bit harder for himself to get into the DLC. He'll probably be higher level than like somebody going into the regular game like I did. But you know, he's going to be higher level. The monsters are going to be harder to kill. Something like that.
Okay.
How does it happen though? I mean, you're very aware you're killing the last boss, I think. But sometimes you're not. So
All right, fair enough. And hey, won't you below me, Tekniq? How you doing?
Oh, doing great, buddy. Thanks for having me.
What's on the ceiling?
Glad to be here. Looking up at Frank. Frank's up here. Apparently, I'm below him.
Yeah.
On my
Gotcha.
screen, he's 3 people this way.
Whoa, look
Yeah,
at that
yeah.
foliage behind you, man.
Foliage.
Yeah, you got some
Oh my
green.
From
God,
here?
shut the hell up, man.
I would say I have a
Really?
this big. From here, it looks like a dead tree behind him. I don't know what the hell it is.
It's not a dead tree. It's a living elephant ear plant. Okay, it's alive and well.
Hold on, those get
And-
huge. I have some of those in my backyard.
Yeah. We
It's not
have
gonna stay that small in a
multiple
pot.
in the living house side of things, and this is like a baby
Okay.
version. It's growing up, and I'm nurturing it as we speak.
It's not going to get big. It's
Oh,
like a
it'll get
mini
big.
poodle version of it. Okay,
Yeah, it'll-
because mine are like half as tall as I am in the yard. I don't
Yeah.
know if it'll stay that.
I'm really
pot.
not sure what it's called. To be fair, I'm not a.
Okay, so it's not. It's not elephant ear
No.
plant.
It's got the ears that look like like an elephant ear. It's got
Is it
those.
like a doggy ear or a mouse ear plant, something.
Could be a
small.
mastodon ear for all we know.
Okay,
Who
let's
knows?
talk about the
Sean,
topic.
I've
Let's talk about
stopped
WoW.
listening about a minute ago. I don't know.
We can just ramble on for hours.
Yeah, I bet
let's
you
hit the
could.
topics. What are the topics?
Let's
Well,
jump straight
Frank-
into the new. You know what? I'm gonna anti-jinx us. It's gonna be a really long episode today, y'all.
Now it's like a super fucking long episode. You tell us.
Frank stole my intro topic of the restaurant idea I have, so I had to talk about fucking elephant plants.
Okay, yeah. You're
All right.
so good at thinking on your feet.
Rapid
But-
fire news. As of Tuesday this week, the official patch for the launch of War Within, right? Which, by the way, this will be our last podcast in Dragonflight, right? To give people at home a little context, I will be traveling quite a bit the next couple of weeks, so we will take a little break, give you guys a chance to sink your teeth into the expansion, whether you're early access or not. But the patch we got today, or sorry, not today, this week, was the official launch patch. I think there's, obviously all the information for the War Within itself. We don't see much of it, but we did get the official updated login screen. So this is 100% it now. Quick question: do you guys think it'll change throughout the patches? Yes or no?
It has to.
Oh, it's going to, I'm sure. Yeah, Scrap said so. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
they'll
why not?
listen.
I mean, that's what we said to keep Scrap kind of calm, so I got to stay with it.
If they want to keep me calm, they better change this shit. Looks bad.
One thing I had to slow down and call out, though, is this line right here. Among the updates in this patch are the beta version of talents for classes still missing them. Now, when I said, 3 weeks ago, that this was working as intended, which again was their words, not mine. I didn't want to necessarily defend that.
Their words, when asked why don't paladins have the new talent tree, was that it's working as intended.
Yeah.
Correct?
And I think here we go. So here's the patch or the post from
Blurry for
21
me,
days ago. What?
The case. Hold on,
What?
let me reload it.
Here's what it says. We
Okay.
just want to clarify that we implemented the class trees for this patch as intended, and this is not a bug. The current War Within pre-expansion patch includes our initial class and spec changes. As you can see in the beta, there are more changes coming, changes that we are adding within the full War Within expansion. Between now and then, we may deploy urgent tuning and bug hotfixes to classes, but the trees in the game are working correctly. So I've got my hat here. I'm going to let you, there's three of you, right? Here,
Okay.
here's my hat. Okay, my little chocolate hat that I will
Remember,
eat.
we can't see it.
I know you.
No, I'll see it. I'll see it. He's got
Anyways.
a little chocolate hat. Take his word for it.
So
Well, describe it for me, man.
It's a
What
little
does it look like?
chocolate hat. You
do
saw a
I have to
picture
eat
of
my
it.
hat? They said it was not going to change until the patch for the launch. This is the War Within expansion patch. Scrapclaw, yay or nay?
Is it not getting a patch when it goes live? There's
No.
not going to
No,
be
this
maintenance.
is it.
This is it.
There might be hot
Mhm.
fixes, but this would be the patch. There won't. It's like, okay, so it's 11.0.2. There is no 3.3 or 0.4. There is an 11.0.5, which we'll talk about in a second.
Can
Well,
I
I don't want to
interject?
talk about it a second. I want the whole facts. When is that happening?
We don't know.
Interject.
It's
It's a short
just one on the
story.
PTR. Okay, hold on. Let's. It's that time again for this week's Tekniq rant of the moment. What's up?
Just
Yeah.
let's zoom in right quick on Blizzard's post and how it awkwardly begins with "hello," period.
Okay,
It's a comma.
That's a
it's a
period.
period. It's a period.
Oh, it's a period. Okay, it's hard for me to see.
All right.
Can we get into
Is that it? That's
how?
what you were going to say?
How weird is that?
Frank, I
How
think
weird is
the
that?
technicality-
Someone at Blizzard is super
zooming back
awkward
out.
and super just angry about
It's-
having to write this post at all. Hello.
That resembled how my dad
It's
would
Here we go.
text me.
too hard
Hello.
into it. Yeah. Some boomer, maybe
Weird.
somebody who's not their
And-
first
yeah,
language.
Yeah, someone that just is looking for a new job is posting this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so-
sorry,
let
go
me- hold on, it's my turn to get my vote. I think by technicality, you don't have to eat your hat if there's not going to be another patch
Wrong.
for launch.
Technically,
they-
let's read the statement. Let's go back and read the
Technically, they
recording.
said
He said
they're not going to insert
Oh.
talents until pre-patch or until the launch patch.
Until the
and it's
launch,
a launch
okay.
patch.
no,
Yeah.
but it hasn't launched yet.
No, but this is the launch patch.
This is the
For
launch patch.
Okay, right, fair. Did they change it? Did they
Yeah.
fix
Yes.
it? No. Well, if it's happening,
Scrap.
I'm kind
What's
of,
your vote?
Tekniq keeps fucking cutting me off. The vote. I don't think you have to eat your hat.
No one
Okay.
cares about Scrap's vote. Why don't we go
Sorry.
ahead and just eat
Hold
the
on.
hat?
Let me finish my sentence. But I think that you may still have to eat it, so keep it handy.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm kidding.
I just started
If there's
eating it.
another patch where they add in talents and stuff that are more than just hot fixes, then I think you're gonna have to eat your hat.
I would say he doesn't have to eat the hat.
Tekniq.
You would say that.
You don't
Yeah, I
have
would.
to eat it, dude. But if I were you, I'd eat it. It's chocolate for fuck's sake.
It's
Eat
dark
He's
it.
eating it
chocolate.
anyway.
Oh, it's dark chocolate. It's not very good.
You're
that
eating
doesn't
it,
sound
Frank.
All right.
What if you have to eat it later?
You could melt it and put it between some graham crackers. Maybe add like a marshmallow.
Yeah, maybe
That
a
might
hat,
sound
a hat
s'more.
a hat s'more. Yeah.
Oh, a s'more. Okay. Yeah, that sounds.
Oh, that's what they're called.
So,
Um,
is this what we're saying? They put in all the new trees for
So
paladins?
yeah, well, Shauna, you gave me
Yeah.
the stats earlier. So rep paladins were the big offender. What happened?
They changed, like, I had 12 stat points I had to put back in on my ret tree.
Ooh.
I was interested, though, Wowhead's build, where it has, like, Raid is using, where Wake of Ashes gives you, it's on the bottom right-hand
Raid.
side.
Well, this is raid cleave,
you-
but
Yeah, if you look at Raid Cleave, if you go down more,
Mhm.
go down, stop, and then the little red-looking dude, over
Burn
one.
Ash. When the truth
Sorry,
Up and
over
over.
one. No,
Up and
over
over.
one. Left. That one. Down.
that's not an orange guy. It's gold.
No, I know. I said
Okay.
them wrong. Wake of Ashes now activates Crusader or Crusade.
Or
They use that in
Avenger,
Raid.
Matthew.
They use that in Raid, but not in Mythic Plus. And I was like, I wonder why. And then they basically explain the polls in between are long enough that you can use
Like you-
Avenging Wrath instead.
Okay.
Where in Raid, you need the quick, like, you just need it coming up all the time. Yeah.
I'll go on a little bit of a tangent here just because you already brought it up, right? So like the things that are surprising me about the new builds, I was looking into, I wish I pulled it up, but I didn't. But fear.com in our Discord posted essentially a simmed list of all the specs and their best hero talent. Arcane was at the top behind Og because Og, who knows what the hell's going on with
Sorry,
it.
a raid sim, right, Frank?
Yeah,
A
they were
patchwork?
raid sims, not Mythic Plus, but and
It was
in fairness,
patchwork.
yeah. And so Arcane Sun Fury was 20% better than Spellslinger. Now, Scrap, you and I, you brought it up
That's
this week
where
even.
you should be eating your hat, because if you look back at the podcast, Frank was very adamant that he would be playing whatever hero talent that fit most into his class fantasy, regardless of how much
Whoa.
damage discrepancy between
I'm going
the two
to
there was.
going to cut the clip right here.
And all of a sudden, like, it sucks compared to whatever that sand land word is.
So that was my question I was going to pose to all three. Like for me, and I'll just tell you my opinion, and then you guys can go. I'm going to choose thematically instead of DPS.
You are not.
Scrap. I play Arcane because I choose thematically, not because I choose top.
Yeah, but
DPS.
you want to be the best arcane mage, you're gonna have to pick the right talent tree.
No, I'm going to pick the one that feels the most fun. Now,
Frank,
granted,
you don't do it now. So
what are you
why would
talking
do
about?
it then you set up your talents based on what looks the coolest.
I've changed it, and my Frost DK is a perfect example of that. I'm using Frost Scythe over everyone else, and it's like marginally better to not use it, but I don't care. It's like feels more fun to play it. But like, and don't get me wrong, like if one's absolutely busted bad, I'm not going to use it because my theme will just be diminished by the fact that I'm like sitting in the nosebleeds. But but like, okay, so. Okay.
What's your clip? I don't.
By the
you
way,
have to,
Tekniq, you are fucking with your camera.
Tekniq, you are off the screen.
Anyways,
What is the clip?
I will cut here.
You're recontextualizing yourself because
I haven't watched it yet, but I am almost certain I said that I would do that, barring any gross difference between the two. Right?
that's such a horseshit.
This is a 20% swing. Now, granted, I will also put an asterisk on what will happen the next 4 weeks or so, because I think they will nerf it because it's such an egregious difference between.
Frank, you're backing off of it. There were huge egregious differences between covenants in Shadowlands.
You can't
and
just
it
take his
stayed that way.
big word and
20%?
use it again.
Yeah, 20%. I'll stand by it. Nobody fact check me on that, but I feel like there was definitely, because there were 4 covenants. There were a lot of classes.
I'm sure there were somewhere. Yeah.
That you would never see somebody spec into that covenant.
You say
with
that,
spec.
but then I'd see Sarah, who chose the one covenant everyone said don't choose.
Yeah, but as a tank, it was
I did
you have
the
a little
same
bit more leeway because you're not pushing the DPS meter. As a
Okay, fair enough,
DPS, 20% is a huge that takes you completely out
I
of the game.
think some people in the community would disagree, but I agree with you, so I will
You agree
concede
with
that
me.
point.
So I was saying, hero talents aren't that exciting to me. I'm just going to pick the one that does the most damage as a DPS because
You get
20% is a huge discrepancy, but 10% is a huge discrepancy. Even fucking 5% can be a huge
Especially when you're talking about
If-
size. That's a big difference. 5%
Size,
larger
size,
is a big
size.
deal.
If it was
And
single
Frank
digit,
went
I
up
wouldn't
and
have cared.
down. Okay, but that's not what you said. That's not what you said. You didn't say
Again,
if it's
I
single
will
digit.
have cut it in at this point. We would have heard me say it from the cat's mouth.
I need to hear in the comments if you think that he is gaslighting or
That's not even gaslighting. That's not the right term of gaslighting.
No, I think you should have. You're retconning.
Yeah, okay, retconning. I'll accept.
Retconning, because you may put in a little clip, a little 1 minute clip, but that entire section we were talking about it was like 10 or 20 minutes, and I was challenging you. Go ahead. I was challenging you and saying you are so full of shit. You're gonna play whatever does the most damage, and you said no. I'm gonna do whatever does the most class fantasy. Blah,
I
blah,
want
blah.
to. I want to though. I do still stand by that. I want
to also, Frank,
20%
but
is just
I
too
wanted
egregious.
to play. Yeah, it's too. I wanted to play a specific covenant as a specific spec because I like the outfit better, and I was not able to do that as a DPS. So. They have a bad track history with
Shawnee,
this. Even
settle
like
this. Is 20%
between talents
enough to say throw that out the door?
Frick, I'm not arguing that 20% is enough to say throw it out the door. I'm just saying I knew you'd be chasing the meta.
All right.
Despite class fantasy, but go on.
20%
If
is
Shawnee
enough
says it's not, I'm going to stick to the spell slinger and take the hit.
So
who would
I only think it's not is if when you try both, and if it's not 20% difference for you, because I don't mean it mean, but I don't think any of us are gonna match the sim.
Yeah, Frank, you might be even worse than 20%.
Actually, can I
like,
go on?
That's my feeling on it. Like when people are like, "The Sims," this, I'm like, all right, that's like if it was a robot played it. Like,
so
you might play the other one, and it might.
Shawnee, your defense is that he might be even worse.
No, to put that into context, though. So, okay, the reason why I'm even thinking or considering any of this was because I saw Preheat's video on, Sun Fury or whatever it's called, and I started watching the rotation, and I think I said this last night in Discord. I was like, oh no, like this is equally complicated, but it's also absolutely the opposite of how the rotation used to work. That now I'm like terrified of what that rotation is going to look like. So I got on beta during my lunch today and tried to play a little bit of it, and I did do less DPS than when I was Spellslinger. Now, granted, Spellslinger is literally just like, sailing through easy waters, right? It was very easy to do, in my opinion. So, it might just take some practice, but yes, it definitely could be that way, Shauna, because it is very, like, I had to build 4 weak auras just to track the other things that I'm already now.
I mean,
my weak auras are a nightmare already.
We've seen, like, for example, in Shadowlands and just like talent to talent, like there's some times nobody will ever take the right side of the tree or left side of the tree or whatever the hell that they can't consistently balance the game, so there's not like one spec that's like way over, one covenant that's way over. So I think in lieu of that, a better secondary option, if they just can't do it, is to have one that's more complicated to play, but it's better returns if you play it correctly, and one that's easier to play but more consistent and you can fuck up more. So it's like, okay, they're not exactly balanced, but if you're at a lower skill ceiling, then you can kind of play the easier one. Whereas if you really are pushing and trying to like get that tiny little bit out, you can play the more complex one.
I agree with that philosophy.
I like that.
Yeah,
philosophy.
But we've talked about this.
Is egregious.
But we've talked about this as well, like and I'm saying Arcane's one of the hardest specs to play, but it never played at that level, like you said, where you were getting higher returns because you were playing a more complicated, balancing act. I don't.
Well, that's not their philosophy at all. Clearly, because BM is always at the top of the pack, and Fury, and Frost Death Knight. Stuff that you can play with a Drinky Bird.
I don't remember what. I'm not going to look for it, but I don't think the hunters were doing that well, were they? Because didn't Haywire get upset?
They're always doing the upper quarter, upper third. BM hunters are, and it's very easy spec to play. It's very hard to fuck up.
Well,
so it's not their design philosophy necessarily, but I mean, I think their design philosophy is to balance everything as close as possible, which is the ideal. But if you can't do that, at least if you realize this is going to be a little bit unbalanced, make that one a little bit more complex.
I think that would be one that people would be happy to support too.
Yeah, obviously this is me saying like, just do it. It's so easy. I'm sure it's very, very complicated and very difficult, but they shoot themselves in the foot because they always say, yes, it's going to be balanced. Yes, you can choose whatever you want, blah, blah, blah. And then it's never the case. So maybe just stop saying that. I don't know. Just say one's going to be dog shit and it's fine. Nobody has to play it. We didn't even put that much time into it. Just play the one that's good.
It is said that the only balancing they care about is the raid balance. Like they look at that stat sheet, I guess, and say that's what we care about, which would explain a little bit of why Mythic Plus has such strange metas, I guess. But I don't think that to be true. I mean, I don't know enough to really defend myself well, but I do see them like caring when, like, I guess AoE is out of control for some classes and whatnot.
Yeah.
But they also haven't squashed some of the metas that were forming over the late stages of Dragonflight, so I don't know.
I'm not going to go so far to say they don't care. I understand that balancing, I don't even know how many specs there are in total, a lot. And then a raid encounter is a lot easier to kind of predict for because everything is timed, everything is by percentage and blah, 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 to think, you know, how are cooldowns going to line up and how's this. Whereas a Mythic Plus is like, there's so many factors of like when you're hitting certain packs, certain times with certain compositions. It's literally an impossible task to balance it completely. But when you can come out with a number, crunch the numbers and say 20% discrepancy, can't you just take a slider down or something? Like, I don't understand
20%'s a big
how that's
number
allowed.
for DPS.
That is for DPS. It's 10%. I think is on the egregious side.
Are we talking like one skill here though? I'm sorry, I need to.
No. Sorry, like the sims,
just
the
joining us.
technique. So the two sims patchwork.
Sorry, I've just tuned in.
Like, I don't remember. I think it's probably a 5-minute patchwork. So just like doing their.
Okay, so they did like a single target.
I don't think they use those kind of stuff.
20% drop.
That's a
you're
great
talking about
question,
arcane. You're talking about different arcane specs.
No, well, don't worry about
different
that necessarily, but like
nobody actually gives a fuck. Here. Let's just move on to the next tab.
Gives a fuck.
no, question for you, and I don't know if any of us will have the answer, but I'd be curious of what people say in our comments. Do you think that they use the same SimC, simulation craft that everyone else in the world uses, or do they have their own system?
They must.
I think they use the same one.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Cool. All right. Well, we
Because
will
if
have
they
more
might
on
have a
this.
better one. I don't
Maybe
know.
they
Blizzard
use a
has their own, they
super
would put it
secret
in.
behind the scenes, like dark web version of SimC.
I wonder if that information's
What do you
available.
think?
We should look into that and see if they've said anything about like.
This is why we need to
how
be able
they
to
sim
interview a
stuff.
dev. We need to be exclusive questions to ask them that everyone cares about.
I'm worried it would be a hot.
Have 'em
seat,
on
though.
like
we would fuck it up so bad.
You better
Have them
kick
on
me
like
into
anon, just their black screen, their voices adjusted, like
Yeah.
everything's different. You know what? I'll play that character on the next episode.
Okay.
You'll be the dev. Okay, we could just pitch your voice down a
Just
little bit.
A what if scenario.
Give me like a black silhouette.
All right,
And
we've gone off the
changed
rails
source.
already on topic 2. No, not even on topic 1.
Shit. Topic 1.
Now, we have a lot of topics this week that have people up in arms. The first we want to talk about is the exit strategy for Mop Remix ending. Okay. Now, there was a lot of speculation, and Blizzard made a blue post that said that people will leave with 467 item level for their characters if they hit level 70, and they'll get like 4 30 slot bags. Cool, right? It is putting people in a upset state because a lot of people are saying, well, I poured hours upon hours into my cloak to get millions upon millions of stats, and now I'm only being given 467 item level. So I wanted to get y'all's opinions. We can quickly, just based on the look of everyone's faces, tell what you guys feel. So Shawnee, why don't you kick us off?
The hell? What do you think you were going to get? Did they really think they're going to be like, oh, here's the eye level like 1,000 cloak?
Yeah,
No, I
aims
think
to
they were,
boost
like,
me to
thinking
80
520.
and make the game already completed and played and succeed. Like, Jesus,
No.
fuck Christ. Shut up.
Yeah.
467 is a good thing. Just
I'm just
move
kind of
on.
like, yeah. Like, I didn't expect it to be like, you knew they told you from the start, like, this was a special thing for Panda, and the whole special thing was a cloak. So, like, yeah, of course it's not coming
Also,
along.
Frank, if you know people that are bitching about this,
I don't.
they're not your friends anymore. Please remove them.
I
I
don't
mean,
know
my
about
answer
that.
to them would be like, remember how we played an
Scott has an
expansion, built
opinion,
up
guys.
rank?
Hold on.
Oh my
Me?
goodness.
She's
Sean.
gonna
Goodness,
defend them.
let's all tune in. And
No, I'm not gonna defend them. I agree. I could agree completely with Shawnee. It's like you knew that you weren't gonna get something extra for that. I think even Blizzard, like, there was no incentive to push your cloak to a trillion billion stats besides like one-shotting raid bosses, and that in itself is its own reward. That's all you get.
Well,
that
you
was
could
your
have probably
reward.
done that like 2 weeks in, and you could have stopped
Yeah.
there.
And your reward was that you can one-shot Miss the Pandaria bosses. You did not know how long it was gonna last. Every time you log in, it tells you how many days are left. Like,
honestly, if they put
What do you want?
if they put half as much energy into looking for a job, as
Okay,
they
hold on,
did.
Tekniq. Hold on.
This is
Just
my
because
boomer
we,
take.
yeah, the boomer take. I'm not saying I can understand. I do understand that people are upset they put so much time into this, and there's no like forever remix solution. Like they're just like, hey, if you want to play remix forever, you can play on this server.
I don't think
or whatever.
that's what they're upset about.
Well, I'm just saying that would be the only
okay.
like fair concession. I think
I would love to hear.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah, I'd love to
comments
hear what
from
people
someone
want.
upset about it, what they thought was going to happen and what they would like to see happen.
I will say throughout most of the topics we talk about, it seems to be a very vocal minority, which is usually the case anyways. But yes, I think it would be a very small minority of people. But if you do have an opinion on the matter, chime in.
We don't personally know anybody who's used Remix for anything but blasting a character to 70.
Yeah. We
like,
tried
we don't
it.
have anybody who's...
and getting cool mogs like the Siege of Orgrimmar shoulders.
You never got that, did you, Tekniq?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he was playing for like a week while we were all like done with it.
Yeah, I missed it.
As soon as I looted them, I dropped raid and fucking left the game and never played it again.
Those are cool fucking shoulders, but we did that raid once and I was like, there's no fucking way I'm doing this 20 times.
No, I knocked it out, man. Wasn't that big a deal.
It's a good reward. Those garage shoulders are fucking they're spicy. They look cool as fuck on a warrior. Whew.
On an orc warrior, everyone else it kind of looks dumb.
Tauren warrior, I think is cool. It's like a Karen Bloodhoof, like got
I didn't
a Bloodhoof Tauren wearing the shoulders of the guy who killed Karen Bloodhoof is pretty fucking sick.
I didn't put it into the rundown, y'all, but they did preview Drakthir Warriors in the Wildcast this week.
Saint it. Super kind of. I'm kind of stoked, man.
Are you swapping your warrior Tekniq?
No, they look too stupid for me. But I mean, some of their
they look different, Frank.
Well, they look taller. Everyone's worried about how they have 2 CCs as their racial. So in the Wildcast, I think maybe in a dev interview,
they'll be changing that.
Well, they said that they're just going to maybe extend the cooldowns. I don't know if that's necessarily the right answer, but we'll see.
Why don't they just take 1 CC and make it specific to Evoker, and then you have a CC as your racial? That seems like the easiest solution.
The CC might still be strong. Shawnee, I'm sorry, I don't know if I cut you off.
What? Tauren have a CC?
I was just saying all this transmog talk probably goes great into the next topic of transmog talk.
It does, yes. He wants us to move on. Okay,
we can move on. But I think Drakthir Warriors are sick. I hope we get Drakthir Mages.
Yeah, there will probably be, like the
Mages and Warriors, apparently.
Hunters and warriors, stuff like that. All right.
Oh yeah, Hunters, yeah.
Yeah, so the next thing that was upsetting people has been fixed. So on the beta...
Oh, I didn't think this was upsetting, but go on.
Hold on. So on the beta, it wasn't listed as a bug, but people were under the impression that if they were to complete a quest, they would get all the transmog in that quest. And I'm sure there's some other things that was to it as well. But when it hit the patch with pre-patch 11.0, that was not the case. And people started getting upset very quickly, right? So they made this blue post saying, okay, well, that was a bug, but we're going to now make an update to it and make sure that here, I'll read it. So first is an update to the class restricted gear. We're working to make it so that non-cosmetic class restricted gear can have an appearance collected by any class. So that way you don't have to put it in your warbank, which was apparently, a little bit of a problem on some things. And then the second line was, we're also still working on the much discussed update to make it so that when you complete a quest, all appearances from non-cosmetic item rewards will be granted, regardless of whether that particular class could have seen or chosen them. So they fixed the issue, which is nice of them. I think that's,
wait a second.
It's crazy that they're making it retroactive. I feel like that's got to be a huge thing.
I don't think so, because you
have
a
ridiculous way to spend resources. First of all, as a company,
chill
but
out, Tekniq. I think this is cool.
What about chill out,
dude? You spent like 100 hours on your fucking garage shoulders or whatever. Like, you care about transmog?
Not 100 hours. It was probably like 7 hours.
7 hours.
That's a lot of hours for just one shoulder.
Yeah, and he says he doesn't
Which he's
care
not even
about
wearing, by the way.
Well, there's 2 shoulders, first of all, but also 2 months of playtime. It was very sparsely sprinkled in time segments. Anyway, so concern here. So are they saying that when I complete a quest, I just get the rewards for? It doesn't matter which one I choose.
You get the
just get all of the cosmetics for all the rewards.
Tekniq, you already get all the transmog for whatever you choose as long as your class can use it. Like,
okay, so it's going to take me like 6 quests to get all the mogs in the expansion since they all share a fucking model anyway. It's going to take me.
Yeah, you get the questing transmogs across all characters.
You can't even fill all item slots with 6 quests, let alone all item sets.
He's exaggerating. Clearly, he's exaggerating.
Frank.
But yes, it's that you'll have all the transmog if you do all the quests.
Okay,
Once.
excellent.
I'd say this is a good
Yeah.
thing because if
Fine.
I'm leveling on my mage, I'm going to get that amazing Hallowfall set we talked about, right?
Yeah.
For my paladin by just doing the quest normally. So I'm happy about that. To answer your question, the resources aren't that big of a deal, Tekniq, because all they need to do is see if you've completed a quest, which you can do through a string check. Like you can go on Wowhead and find the string that will tell you true or false. And if it's true, then they just unlock them all. Like that's probably not that much work.
You say it's not a lot of work. To me, I'm like, wow, this is cool because it's like, I mean, some of
Now
my
you're
characters
upset
are like,
they didn't put work into it.
no, my characters are like 10 years old, so it's like they know that stuff from 10 years ago that I completed these quests. That's cool. My transmog closet's about to fucking explode because I've quested on a lot of different
that's actually a good
characters.
question though. I wonder if it goes all the way back to vanilla.
They said it's planned to be retroactive, but they don't say anything about retroactive for how long. So I'm guessing it's all the way to vanilla. Why not? Wouldn't it be?
Well, this will be part of the 11.0.5 patch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which we can go on and transition to talking about because that is.
Wait, hold on. Go back.
Whoa.
Because you completely glossed over the first part, which I do have a problem with, is that class restricted gear will be able to be worn by not those classes.
Not worn.
Okay, not worn. Okay, never mind. You just earn it. Okay, never mind. I'm fine with that then.
You thought they were just gonna let priests wear plate?
Yeah, no. I thought that like
although people want that.
It's have a set, then
more
warriors
importantly,
can wear it.
Plate wearing cloth. Ew.
No, not across armor classes.
Dresses.
But if we're talking class specific, I thought you were saying that
priest
like
wearing mage stuff and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, priest wearing mage stuff. I mean, it gets crazy if you have like a rogue wearing druid stuff. It's like, bro, what? It's like so, but that's not the case. Is what you're saying?
No.
Okay, I'm fine with it. Move on.
Cool. So it's going to be part of the 11.0.5 patch, which is hit the internal testing server, which means it will be on the PTR pretty soon. Now, not many things are known about this patch, so it's not really something we should dig too much into.
Wait, is that a plunder storm? Hold on.
This is the old roadmap. We've already happened.
Shit. Like, pull that up.
Well, I just wanted to point out though that the 11.0.5 was on there in autumn, so we'll get a new one of these after 11.0.5. But they said they'd be storing quests, which no surprise there. System updates, maybe they'll clean up the hero talents that still need work on. But the 20th anniversary event, we've seen some events. We've seen the pre-patch event. We've seen Plunderstorm, for example. I am curious if you guys think there's any big event that you could think of or that you would want out of the 20th anniversary event, which they said will be a really big deal, right? They're throwing Plunderstorm at us. They threw Mop Remix at us. We got some other things today that we're going to talk about that they're going to hopefully throw at us that we're excited about. Anything else that you guys want to see out of that 20th event, 20th anniversary event?
What do we want to see, or what do we expect?
Yeah, what do you want to see? What would you want to see?
I want to see something in game. Like I love Plunderstorm and I love Remix, but I want to see something that I'm playing on the server on the character that I'm playing in retail. Ideally, okay. I don't know. I mean, a quest chain would not be very exciting. Maybe like a raid for a week or something. Time walking vibes. I don't know.
They're going to give me a house for 20 years of service.
No, they're not going to give you a house.
You don't know that?
Sean, have you played since vanilla?
Yes.
And Tech, you have too, right?
Yes.
Scrap, you haven't though.
I played since Burning Crusade.
Okay, so close.
And
okay.
I only had an endgame character in Wrath, so I didn't have an endgame in Burning Crusade.
Well, we will see this on the PTR. They probably will hold it until launch just to not like muddy the water that's already going on. But God, I'm looking at this list now. I wanted tonight's episode to be about delves, but we had so much little things going on. I don't think we can talk about it. Well, maybe that'll be our question of the week.
I would love to have some to
delves are not for us, man. I'm sorry.
I would love to experience.
They're gonna need to be
in retail because apparently delves are going to get really difficult towards the end of it, and so I want to I want to actually prog through it and get a good vibe for it before I make my comments on it.
Well, and according to the WoWcast, which again came out this week, they will at the level 8, which I think is where the highest rewards will come from. They will have some seriously good gear. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, go ahead. See if you get it right.
No, you finish it.
No. The level 8 gives you Mythic plus 10 gear in your vault for doing 8s. So you're going to want to do the full line of 8s for the week to get your vault all the way up.
So I was talking to Frank, about it. I felt like so whatever the new version of Flightstones is going to be, are they going to be rewarded in delves? Do we know?
They don't
You
mention
mean
that in their
Flightstones or
delve talk.
crests?
Flightstones, crests. I never had a problem with crests. It was always, for me, it was like, do I have the Flightstones? That's because I don't do.
I would assume
daily
so. I think
daily
it's a
quests
safe
and like
bet.
zone quests and shit.
It seems like
Yeah.
a daily quest type thing, so I feel like it should reward Flightstones, maybe not crests.
Yeah.
Either
Maybe
way.
depending on the level. But I mean, for that reason, I might find myself doing delves if I'm farming some item.
You're
But
gonna
that's interesting. If like level 8s are going to reward the same as like a level 10 Mythic Plus, that sounds
Yeah.
like
in the vault.
yeah. Okay.
So
in the
yeah,
vault.
because the vault
yeah.
now is world content raids and Mythic Plus. There's no PvP vault anymore.
Well, hold on.
I'm not
clarify
having
what I
much
thought.
fun in the delves though. I want to say like it's literally just a quest in a cave, and it feels like
We're off
much fun.
topic. I need to. Okay, let's wrap this up though, because
So-
we can talk about delves in a
Talking
second.
about delves.
We'll talk about delves in a
We're talking
second.
about delves. You
No,
introduced
because
the delve topic.
11.0
20th
preferred. I
anniversary
brought us off
event.
topic. I'm
Okay,
putting
what-
us back on track.
Okay.
20th anniversary event. I really can't think of anything that would be substantial enough to really say, wow, this is 20 years and I feel this is an event I must do. Can you guys?
I think the anniversary is fine. They might put out a pet or a mount.
Didn't they do
or
Nixia for the
something.
10-year anniversary?
The little Anixia pet is so cute.
I thought it was
mean,
great.
yeah, like
I
granting
just remember the pet.
granting like a freebie pet or mount or whatever isn't exciting for me if everyone has it. Everyone knows that. I'm kind of selfish in that way. But like, I don't know, like an event that we can participate in, I'm curious. I'm curious what it would be. I don't really have something in mind that would like blow me away or be super exciting.
I mean, we talk a lot about like free content versus not free content. I mean, this is something that I feel like is free content, like it's a holiday, they give us something,
Can I share something?
Yeah,
It can be both.
Related but not related. So my company, don't want to go into labeling the company. My company celebrated its 150th anniversary today.
Okay.
And I got like a lunchbox, a Stanley style cup, and a lanyard. How fucking cool is that? Yeah, that's what I don't want to see. Okay, for
That's
our
what they
20th
typically do.
anniversary.
Tekniq, that's what
Yeah.
they typically do, though. They
Yeah,
give you a
honestly,
Stanley
I just wish I
cup and a
got some
lanyard.
new fucking shirts. Would be great. So honestly, 20th anniversary.
Oh,
What can we
Christ.
get? What kind of event can we do?
Yeah,
Can we get like a cup?
No, okay. This is what I'm thinking now, just on the fly. What if they took like all the best raid bosses and made like a new raid that was like a, you just step through a portal and the room would change into like, Sathoon.
Like
What if we
Sathoons?
played retail
Boss
in
gauntlet?
classic graphics?
Oh, actually, you know what, Scrap? You just said it. Like, what if they had a
Boss gauntlet would be cool.
yeah, like a
If
push as far as you can.
All
And you
evokers were
get some
deleted.
like iconic like transmogs. You get like Thunder Fury.
Damn,
and,
we're
like,
cooking some good idea on this.
No.
This is-
No, dude.
That's the kind of thing I would want to see. Like, I think a Plunderstorm or something like that
Just for a
ends up
short
being
period of time, though.
controversial.
yeah,
They
yeah.
need something that's like for everyone, right? Like, and it's hard to please everybody. So it would have to be something with different tiers of difficulty, I think. And if they could do a boss gauntlet that scales like Raid Finder, normal, heroic, mythic, that goes on for like a month and drops old transmog, not like
Sure.
anything
Yeah,
that
just
will
transmog.
Right.
launch you ahead.
Hey, my mic
that would
might
love
cut
that.
out for a second.
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
he's changing the battery. I think.
Okay.
I agree with
Yeah,
you though.
that's what I like.
That'd be pretty cool if it I would imagine it like a not necessarily a Torghast style system like with power ups or anything, but like each level got a little harder, and all they'd have to do is just like you hit a new boss plus 10%, and just like
What is
I
it?
would love
Isn't
to
it
see-
a raid or a dungeon in Wrath of the Lich King that's just like a Coliseum and it's just like boss. Okay,
there's
boss.
a dungeon. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
boss. It
there's
was a dungeon.
dungeon and a raid.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, but that's what they should do. They should do fucking Anixia, then they should do Ragnaros, and then they should do Illidan, and then they should do Kel'Thas. And
With the
but
delve
like a little bit
technology, why can't they just like even make it so you could do like single or
I don't know
2,
what the
3
delve
player?
technology is. I haven't fucked with it.
That's
so.
not a massively multiplayer online game experience, though, man. I don't want to see a bunch of single player fucking zone like instances and dungeons and shit being the norm.
No, they
and
have
WoW.
to make it multiplayer optional at least.
It is optional.
What
No,
I
No,
would like to
for,
see,
for
I
the
think,
anniversary
I
event.
think
Oh.
they should pit the Horde against the Alliance once and for all, hard as you can go.
Exterminate one of the
PvP.
races.
Amnesia
fucking PvP,
Pulse. Yeah, and we were
just-
fighting each other.
Yeah, we're just back at it at each other's throats, you know.
Okay.
And everyone has to fight. You have to fight. You've been summoned.
fight.
You have to go.
Technically, we
When
can
you
go
log
do
in-
arenas whenever you want, man.
No. When you log in, first of
all,
all, arenas are not me. I would do battlegrounds with you next season for sure, 100%.
sure.
But I think like when you log in for this event, you don't have a choice. You're in combat with the enemy.
I mean,
period.
it's a wild take, and nobody
You
would
have
like
to
that.
contribute.
Not
Or
nobody.
you'll
Some
die.
people would like it, but
Or you'll
Nobody-
die. What if
but
you
what
die
I'm
and you
trying to
lose your
say-
character for good?
Yeah, you're getting silly
Okay.
now. But what
All
I
right.
would say is that
Now.
for the 20th anniversary thing, it has to be something that everybody can do and everybody can enjoy. So
Yeah,
that's gonna be
yeah.
hard. That's a big ask.
well,
You know.
okay.
That's
We'll wait
just
and
the
see. We'll
wrong
put a pin
outlook
on it.
on
We'll
life.
we'll come back to that when.
I'm excited for that. I didn't realize it
PTO
was the
launches.
20th anniversary.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exciting.
All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of big events, we have tomorrow on the beta test realm. They're going to stress test their launch, which I don't know what they're
Yeah, what does
planning on
that
doing with
mean?
that. Well, they stress test
Like
every.
everybody log on and pretend it's
Yes.
the launch.
No,
Let's see if
that's
our
what they-
servers explode.
That literally is what they're doing. They ask everyone to log on, and then
I'm
they're
not
going
doing
to
that.
open. They're going to open
Hope they
the
have good
starting.
surge protectors.
They're
gonna
opening
open-
what? Tekniq, shut up.
They're going to open the starting quest line for War Within. And today they posted a little snippet. I'm going to play it for us right now.
Wait, tomorrow? They're gonna open the quest line?
No, on the beta. On the beta, they'll open it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
This will be what is launched next Thursday for early access. Monday for everyone else. But they gave us a little clip of the cinematic.
Yeah, Zalta, whatever.
Sorry for the terrible.
At last.
Whatever. Oh, there it is.
It's okay. It's blurred for spoilers. Is she just gonna ace him right now?
This city is home.
I can't hear it. Can you hear it?
Oh, you can't hear it?
No.
Well, there's not okay.
Sounded
There's not
in
much.
post.
Not much to say. She's just going. Ooh, this city is so
Yeah,
cool.
narrate it for me.
Too much.
Is she in Dalaran? Is that where
She's
we are
saying
right
she's
now?
going to put it to much better use. And now, oh,
Okay,
dude,
cool.
Khadgar just said like hell
You
you
turn the
will.
you turn the subtitles on?
Where's everybody else in Dalaran right now?
They're all at lunch.
Where are the guards, bro? Where's the Kirintor? They just
They're in
leaving
this-
Khadgar out.
Oh, I just
They're in
realized
the
that
Khadgar.
Guy.
you may not also
Khadgar's
hear this
fucked
on.
here.
Dude, his single frostbolt didn't kill her instantly, bro.
No, someone made a
Oh,
joke
yeah.
that he must. I think it was Taliesin made a joke that there must be an arcane mage to lose their
Yeah,
his
I think he
entire
is
mana
supposed to
on
be like
one
an
spell.
arcane mage.
Sorry if you didn't hear
Yeah.
that, but anyways, I narrated it. But
I think it's better if you don't hear it.
the event. The event.
That wasn't exciting at all.
Not exciting at all.
really. You didn't think so?
No.
Oh.
First of all, Scrap kept
Then-
talking. But
Well,
third,
I'm gonna talk over it.
Um, yeah, I don't know, man. Khadgar's too badass to be like,
Is he though? Because we had a lengthy
Cast
discussion
one
about
little
how he
frost
doesn't
beam.
do anything ever.
yeah, you know what? He does have really good bubble spells and teleport spells, though.
Dude, his bubble spells
You didn't
come
think
in
that was a spell that
clutch.
looked devastating? He just like.
No, it didn't even
Kamehameha.
work. What the fuck?
Well, that's the. What did you expect? That was the whole like drama of the
It
situation.
looked like something that might be easy to reflect
trying.
or dodge.
Dude, he wasn't even like sweating or bleeding out of his mouth or anything.
He
He
was
did sweat a
sweating.
little bit. Look
He
at his
literally did.
forehead.
Yeah,
Let's
he had a sweat.
rewind.
He had
He
a
had
sweat.
the
Okay,
beads of sweat on his
please.
forehead.
Anyways,
Dude,
Lots of them. They're like at least
The event-
15 beads of sweat.
the event
I'll
launches
mention-
tomorrow on the beta. I'm the kid's got gymnastics. I don't think I can play it, so that's going to depress me.
just wait till it comes
Well,
out, Frank.
so I was going to
Why
ask
are you trying to do the beta?
should I avoid the spoilers and just not look even at Wildhead or anything like
Yeah,
that?
especially since we're not doing a podcast
Yeah,
till
honestly,
after
just
launch.
disconnect at this point, man. You got a vacation for 3
disconnect.
weeks.
No, I'm going to bring the laptop to play a little bit at night.
Yeah, you
Oh,
better.
God. You're addicted.
I got a level.
Meanwhile, I'm taking care of your dog.
Yes, I
This
appreciate
is
that.
insane.
You say that. You've
I'm
been
excited.
So
I'm
excited.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
you have
You're
a
so
puppy at your
excited.
house. We could,
If we
you
could
do
only
this about that.
podcast while I have your dog, I would just have it in my lap and she'd be like loving on me and you'd be jealous.
This is why our
and it'd be
podcast is always an
great.
hour and a half
And
long.
I'd be like,
Yep.
dog. And you'd be like, oh, my dog. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, we also got a surprise announcement about
Mhm.
that was just
Okay.
titled "Soon." All right.
Oh, yeah.
This is
now,
fucking
6 seconds.
all 6
right.
seconds are right there in screenshots.
Yeah. Oh yeah, each second.
It was 6
Here's-
frames of animation.
Here's the flip photo version.
Now, they did put a War Within logo at the end.
Mhm.
So I'm going to ask you, what do you speculate this is? Tech, you
War
want to kick
Within
us off?
trailer, I think. Oh, go on. Sorry.
Sure, yeah. So when I first saw it, I was like, oh, and I love the question that's proposed here. First of all, who proposed the question? Wildhead? Okay. So I brought my wife in. She looked at it, and the first thing she said, what does that scene have to do with what we currently know about the War Within? And I was like, nothing.
Yep.
There's nothing in War Within that's like, oh, the elves are against the orc trolls.
It's
I don't know what
to
those
be
are.
horde, it looks like.
Well,
I think this
you would
is
say that, but
Sylvanas
look at the
and Illyria before
that looks
Sylvanas'
like
turn.
Illyria. Yeah. Go to the previous slide
you're
though,
right. Oh, that's Illyria for sure.
and then like a miniature fairy or
That's
something.
Sylvanas,
No,
No, she's
but
in
go
the
back to
background.
like the I understand. Go back to the previous slide though. That's definitely Illyria.
Yeah, it's
So
Illyria.
look on the left side here. It's all elves.
Well, that's Silvermoon back there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that
so you
looks
would
like
think,
Lorthamar with the white hair in the top knot.
So you would think like, okay, Alliance versus Horde. That's what I said to her. Exactly the same thing. I was like, okay, so look at the axe here also that you notice is this axe with a skull. That's someone important's axe. I don't know who his name
That's
is.
the
but
Arcanite Reaper, dude.
yeah. Anyway,
Sick
so the whole
axe.
point being like the War Within currently doesn't seem like it's an Alliance versus Horde story. It doesn't seem like it's a
Yeah, this looks like the War Without.
This looks like to me we're not hyping up War Within. We're hyping up a release of some fucking animated series, which I would love to see. I would love to see an animated
I would too.
TV show. Finally,
Shawnee?
I don't even care if it looks like dog shit.
mean,
like, let's just fucking
It
do
looks
it.
awesome.
I mean, it looks like someone drew it in about 40 seconds, but yeah, awesome.
Okay, fuck off. It looks amazing. What are you talking about?
Shawnee?
Sure.
So anyway, yeah, what Tekniq said, but like 10 minutes shorter. So it looks like something for an animated show.
I thought that at first, like you guys, but I don't understand why we're in front of Silvermoon or some elven capital. Why we're seeing Sylvanas, what I assume, before she became the Banshee Queen, right? Why we're seeing trolls and orcs versus
Elves.
not but they're not blood elves. They're these are just like high elves, I guess.
High elf,
right?
yeah, with the blue eyes.
And like what does this have
Shirtless
to do with War
orcs.
Within? Because the War Within cinematic.
Sorry to cut you off. I think if they were to do an animated series, doing like the Windrunner story would be fucking sick. Because there's a lot of good story beats in like the early kind of Windrunner sister story, like Sylvanas' story with like the Lich King and stuff is really fucking cool. And for them to focus on like the relationship between these three sisters and
Let's show the comments.
complicated. Show the comments on this. 32
All right.
comments. But what I wanted to say before is that like we were talking about like League of Legends, like most of us who've seen Arcane, we loved it. Like they did a really good job, and it wasn't super related. Like anybody who is not familiar with League of Legends could watch it as a standalone show. And I think
I saw.
if Jesus Christ, I think if they're gonna do a show that is the same standalone, kind of like that, just taking a snapshot of the story, like focusing on the Windrunner sisters, would be a good move.
I want to comment. Like, this is the first time I've seen WoW use
work
this
really
art
hard,
style.
like I said.
Okay, this is the first time I've seen it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure I'm wrong, but it's the first time I've seen this art style used by the Blizzard team, and for that reason, I'm in.
I mean, I'd be in with any animated art style. I'm a
Yeah,
big animation
fuck yeah.
nerd, so
I would love to see this become a series because there's not shit else on TV I want to watch.
Well, this would be a great way to also celebrate the 20th anniversary, is to have a Netflix styled.
Oh, you know what they
Anime.
did with StarCraft? They gave
Yeah.
like the cartoon version of StarCraft. Let's get some cartoon WoW. Let's do that.
Right?
I
For
don't
the
think
20th
this is
version.
going to be any marketing.
For War
The
Within,
logo,
specifically.
logo's there, so I can't really say that is true. But because they already have the cinematics that they put out, which looked obviously gorgeous, you could argue whether they had substance to them or not. They have the 2.5Ds, which we haven't seen this week's yet, but we'll probably see maybe by the end of the week. Because we have 2 weeks before the official launch, and I say 2 weeks, like this week and next week. And then we also have had like, tons and tons and tons of marketing. Plus now they're also doing the spotlights of all the features coming. So I don't think this has anything to do with War Within. I really hope we get a nice little surprise, and I think people like other people for the devs and whatnot of World of Warcraft are saying like, we've been cooking on this for a little while and we're really excited to see it kind of stuff. I hope you guys are right. That'd be awesome.
I mean, dude, they have.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, evidence seems to point to that it's going to be in the past. Maybe it's like a flashback scene explaining Illyria's like a Warbringers type thing, where it's just like, it's like a 5 or 6 minute short about Illyria's past.
I don't want more shorts, man. Fuck that.
Okay, but I'm just saying, from that one screenshot where there's a bunch of shirtless orcs fighting a bunch of high elves, which there aren't a ton of in the current story. It seems like this is at least some sort of flashback, whether it's gonna be a full-blown series or just like promotional material. I'd be interested to see.
They have so much like content, man. They could make a series that rivals the popularity of like Pokemon. Fucking
okay, I don't know about that, but I do think there is precedent. Like the League of Legends, like
vastness
Arcane
of Pokemon. How about that?
Yeah. The League of Legends Arcane did provide like a huge boost to the player base. So
15 seasons is what I'm getting at. It could go for a long time.
Nobody wants to watch fantasy shit.
To tell the whole audience that shit.
Okay.
Well, obviously
we as WoW fans want to see it, but I don't think this man's going to break out of the mainstream.
Speaking of shirtless orcs, Tekniq.
I'm not taking off my shirt.
Oh, this trial short story came out actually quite a little while ago, but I saw this post on Wowhead today, and I thought you could take us quickly through. Now, for those who didn't watch the episode last week, or any of the episodes that he's made the mention in, Thrall is a point of contention for Tekniq on how he is. I think the words used were old, and I'm going to use this.
Didn't say that word at all.
What word did you
dare
say?
To use the word old. Given that I fit into that category.
What would you then categorize what you said?
I said I'm sick of the men being.
You did say that too. I was hoping to spare you of that.
I feel like. Well, do you want me to talk about this story already?
Go on. You've got the soapbox. Go for it.
I love that old offends him, but not pussified.
Old doesn't offend me, dude. People
I'm almost
call me
said old too, but anyways.
I've been gray since I was like 23, which is fine. But I have all my hair. How about you, Shawnee? You got your hair?
Right here, bud.
I haven't had that ever.
Why is Shawnee catching blind shots like that?
I love Shawnee, dude. There's no shade coming from me to Shawnee, first of all. But actually, I read the whole story, man. Great story. Great, article about the story. And, definitely goes into, the history of Thrall, who he was, who he's been, who he became, about his children, who he's, how his process has changed since creating the council, and his position. But if you scroll down to the very bottom, there's a couple of lines, a paragraph about kind of where Thrall's mindset is. He's like, dude, I could just run this shit myself, be a grown ass man, and take the horde back right here.
Is that what he said? I should have read this before I let you.
Essentially, I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, scroll down a little bit more. I'm sorry.
Wait, this article is a summary of the short story, correct?
Well, and there's also some speculation.
Did you read the summary Tekniq, or did you read the short story?
I read the whole summary. I began to read the short story, and it was not short at all. It was a fucking novel.
Okay, I just want to clarify that he read the summary of the short story. And half the pages were like
a quote.
No, I mean, it's a lot of artwork, I want to read it. I'm going to read it. Whenever my next long shit is, I'll go and read that. But at this point, I've read this. Anyway, there's a bit of where, there's a part of Thrall that says, I could take over the war chief role again, but I probably shouldn't, type of thing. And it'd be cool to see him slip into that.
Is that indicative of being a pussy, or is there a valid masculine reason for that?
No. After reading the story, I feel like he's like, yeah, you know what, man? I got a son to worry about. He's a little off the chain. I got a daughter to worry about. She's cool, but she's young. Got to watch out for her. Yeah. Got a council in place. You know, even if I took the role again, I might fuck it up. It's a lot of weight, it's a lot of burden. I don't want to fuck it up again. I don't want all that. That's kind of where his head's at. But he's also seeing. So the biggest thing that this article kind of ends up in, I'm just going to draw this quickly, is saying, okay, so this generation of future leaders is growing up in a time where they're at peace. Will they know how to deal with the possibility of war? Will they know how to deal with things that they see are wrong? Can they confront them? Can they handle it? Is his question. And I think that really relates back to like current time. Okay. But anyway, it's, these people are, his people are growing up in a time where there is peace. And so they don't have to face much confrontation. And he's concerned, hey, if there is a situation that requires someone to stand up, will they be able to do it? That's kind of his mindset. So yeah, it was an interesting story. Great read.
All that said, then. Go on, Scrap.
Oh, sorry, go on. I was gonna say, I think it's an important story because it's like you say, oh, I want Thrall to come back and be a man and take over the Horde or whatever the fuck. But it's like he can't do that forever. He's gonna die eventually. He has to make sure that people under him can take it over for him by being a good dad, which is not.
It's interesting.
Well, and a good mentor. They talk about him being a good mentor too.
And I don't think being a mentor is being a pussy. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, sure. So what's Thrall's age in human years versus orc years?
I think he's in his 40s.
Do orcs age
probably
like humans? Okay, well, he's not too old to lead then. He should be not pussy. He should lead.
No, okay, but he has to.
If he's 40. If he's 40.
He's probably closer to 50 because his children are
70.
I'm going to Google it.
If he's 70, he needs to focus on his kids.
No, he's definitely not 70.
He needs to drop out of the presidential race, okay?
He's
also,
out of the race. He's rambling.
How effective is medicine for orcs? I don't understand. Is he
no,
gonna
God.
You're missing the point of that he is
really
going to die and he can't lead forever and he needs to prepare his son
Scrap
in this
made a good
generation
guess.
to lead.
First thing on Reddit says he's 40.
Well, the timeline is a little bit like messy. They say, oh, there was 5 years between this year. Now there's 3. Now there's 10. Like they flip flop around. So 40, I think, is a good look at him. He looks like a very hot 40-year-old man.
He's a zaddy.
He's serving it. He's always like
even with that underbite. You're down with it. Yep. You're down with the underbite.
What, dude? Thrall is the sexiest man in the Warcraft universe. I'm sorry, 100%.
He's an orc. First of all, we got to keep that straight.
What's wrong with being an orc, dude?
He's not a man. He's an orc.
He's. I think you understand, man. I'm a male figure. Right?
Okay, well, let's use the right lingo. We don't want to offend anyone.
There's 0 hot humans alive in the Warcraft universe, in my opinion.
They're all crybabies, and the other ones are dead.
So my question to Tekniq, Tekniq was going to be: did this give you context to Thrall's story to soften your angst about where his story was at the
first
moment?
I'll answer your question, but first I want to back up what I've been saying this entire time. My angst hasn't been towards Thrall or his position or his thing personally as his character. Okay, it's just the general direction of the storytelling from the company. So that said, I will go with it's great to see this story to give a little more background. I'm sure the background was already there. I'm sure a lot of people already knew about all this lore because I don't follow it as closely. But again, the fact that they mention, and I wish I had it in front of me to show you the exact lines where they kind of pinpoint, okay, well, he's still like kind of thinking like maybe he needs to step up and do this shit himself. It's in there. Read about it. Check it out. That's kind of where I feel like they could twist it, and they probably might should. But we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
I mean, I think this is a character that's very, 3-dimensional. He's like, we've seen him go through a lot of trials and tribulation. I mean, we saw him
absolutely
as a slave and like overcoming
that.
As a slave. Yeah, I know. I've read the book.
Rescued by what's her name? Thrall or some shit.
I thought Jaina was. Oh no, Jaina wasn't the one that saved him.
Jaina's much later. But I mean, this is a character that's always been. We've always been kind of like tuned into his emotions and his hardship and him overcoming it. This is not new stuff that he suddenly has feelings now. The Thrall book was written in like 2005, I feel like. Fact checked me on that. None of this is new. I don't understand where the generalized storytelling is getting very wishy-washy. I think it's been the same. That's my opinion.
Well, we'll leave it there.
If anything, we're getting more human storytelling in the actual game as opposed to just like in the books and in the short stories. Obviously, they have more time to flesh out characters in those spaces, and not a lot of people actually read them. But actually, in the quest lines, characters facing emotions, facing hardship and stuff. In my opinion, that's better writing. Yes, exactly. I like writing like that. I like story-driven stuff like that. So, and character-driven stories like that.
And it's sorry, go on.
I would say the story focuses a bit more on his kids, which I think is just.
I think that's a good move.
You know, as a parent, I know that like that's a huge part of my life. You know, my identity is my kids. Like, if you ask me, or my kid, if you ask me like what's important to me, like that's number one. So I get it, and I feel like obviously the story is about Thrall, but they focus 2/3 of the story about each of his kids and kind of how. They've been impacted.
As I understand it, I haven't read the short story fully. I've read the summary. His kids are adults now, or at least late teenagers. Is that correct?
Well, at least in this
one
story,
in 16 because he's going on like the hunting trial of.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other one's a young
age. Is the point?
Much younger child is what they describe. We don't know the age. It said much younger.
Yeah, I think that's smart because like these characters at this point, like how much of the WoW player base has played Warcraft 3 or read any of the books? Probably less than probably a minority, I would say. You know, at least from the people that I encounter, you know, a lot of people have come to this game quite late and they don't care about the story at all or know the history at all. So bringing in new characters.
How could they? They leveled to 80 or 70 in 14 seconds.
I'm not getting into this. We agree on this Tekniq, but I'm just saying I think it's very important that they bring new characters to the forefront and characters that are important and that we get to keep, that we get to hold on to, because there's so many times that in like, for example, in Shadowlands, it's like, okay, the Archon, we're never gonna see her again, ever. Talanji, I'd be shocked if she ever comes back up from BFA. And Boam Samdi, he came back a little bit because everybody loved him, but maybe it's a cameo. But we're always given these like badass characters. Yeah. But like we're given these badass characters that are really important in like whatever the current leveling thing, but they don't have staying power. And I think they don't have staying power because they're not connected to these big storylines like these big Warcraft 3 characters are. So what can we do to keep characters relevant and exciting? People care. Well, they all have kids. Like, so
nobody cares about their fucking kids, dude.
Illyria has kids.
But I can care about their kids. Illyria's kids suck, dude. I do not give a fuck about them. But
well, I think they'll play a heavy role in the coming future. But yeah,
but Thrall's kids, I'm really interested in.
I didn't even know Thrall had kids.
I knew last time I heard of his kids, they were like little, but now they're like adults. Apparently, I think that's good. I think the passage of time is good. But the same with Ancient. He was 10 and then he was 20. So they do that all the time.
Apparently, there's an in-game quest line for the Horde. What do they call it? The Orc quest line. What's that called? The Orc Heritage.
Yeah, Heritage Armor.
The Orc Heritage Armor quest line brings in his son. Draka, what the fuck's his name? I'm trying to scroll your screen up, bro.
Draka's his mom.
Scroll your fucking screen up. Go down right here. Screenshot right down a little bit further.
Durak.
Yeah, down further. Scroll down further. There. That's his face. What a fucking emo kid. What? Oh my God. This is not Thrall. This is not Thrall's kid.
It's his son.
He looks like a bitch.
He's just an orc. He's got an orc face. What the fuck?
He's like, he's like every like teenage kid that you like raised your whole life.
A shadow. It's just
and you want him to be really cool, and then all of a sudden he like brushes his hair in a weird way, and you're like, "What are you doing? What are you?"
All right,
weird.
Anyway,
story.
So I'm happy to hear.
Of the week.
I'm happy to hear
Look at that.
Go
on up a little bit. Look at that happy picture. How happy are they?
Yeah. What's the dog's name?
Look at how happy Durak or whatever his name is.
Durak. Yeah, he had a mohawk then. Very masculine.
Yeah, he's so excited.
Gave him a fucking side bangs.
Getting tickled. All right, moving on.
What a pussy.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it.
And that's why. Don't tickle your kids.
I'm happy to hear that you're getting more out of this Tekniq. I was gonna say, what's nice about these new content cadence patches, like the 0.05s, the 0.07s, is that we get stories like Bane's, journey through not Nagrand,
Onaran Plains.
Onaran Plains, thank you. I was gonna say Nakud.
Yep. We have Nagrand at home.
And then we get, of course, like the blue Dragonflight and the Tears quest and all that stuff. So like it's nice to see that stuff. I know you say that, well, you level to level 60 or 70 or 80 or whatever instantly, but again, a lot of these quests are optional anyways. So like the story's there. We've talked about what we do with leveling, so I'm not going to reharp that, but I definitely could see like some justification of why you want to clean that story up. But it is there, so it's nice to know that if people want to find it, they can find it. Okay.
Now, I historically love those quests. Like going all the way back to Cataclysm, like one of my favorite quests ever was a quest concerning Agra and trying to reach Thrall's like emotions with the elements and stuff like that. Is a fucking awesome quest chain with some really kick-ass voice acting, and it's a side quest to get like a cloak that doesn't matter anymore. But if you
there's always that
like,
one side quest that's like wildly good.
Oh, so good. Yeah, and I thought the blue Dragonflight questline, I really liked it in Dragonflight. I mean, I did fall off doing kind of the side quest, so I don't know if there were any other big shining moments, but I personally really look forward to those. So at least they have an audience of me with those, because that's where you get the human
Despite
moments.
falling off.
Yeah, well, they lost me with the Emerald Dream stuff. I don't know.
All right. Let's move on to another topic that's upsetting everyone. And this one
Oh, yeah, I love talking about stuff upsetting.
is kind of understandable. So, announced for Twitch streamers.
People here are upset about this. I'm so excited about this. What the fuck?
If you watch anywhere from August 26th, I think September 19th, right? For 5 hours, whatever they usually do.
Yeah.
You will get this mount, the Skeletal or Ghastly Charger mount, which is part of the original Warcraft trading card game. According to things I've seen online, this card currently or did value at $1,400 before going on what would now be the Twitch drop. People are losing their mind. Now, again,
the four people who are still holding on to those cards on eBay.
The vocal minority, of course, right? But like, there's a streamer who said like, hey, I benefit from this, but I do not like this, right? I do not like that they did this.
What the fuck? Wait, I want them to release the fucking Spectral Tiger as a trading post thing. That would be hilarious.
Sorry, my dog's trying to bark at, I think, the little dragon gif on the back of the wall. Yeah, so, and on top of that, if you gift subs, they give you a little owl plep. I don't think that has anything to do with the trading card game. But, yeah, so Scrappy.
They've already done this. The Plague Dragon, I don't remember what the fuck it's called. The Fell Drake was a trading card exclusive.
Yes.
The Tuskar Kite or the Dragon Kite was a trading card.
But I think this is the first one that like
people get upset about it every time. The Fell Drake valued at a fucking load, dude. The Zevra Charger, wasn't that one too? And they just gave that off of the trading post.
So
the Spectral Tiger Cub.
Shawnee?
I think.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
I think it's if they want to get upset, they can. Only want the 18 people out there that have this card that's worth $14,000 if someone wants to pay for it.
It's not even that worth that much.
He was talking Canadian money.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry about your inflation, brother.
So it's a card they have that's worth money if someone wants to pay it. And if it was worth that much, they probably would have sold it.
So I will go on. Sorry.
I don't think there's anything big deal.
Anything you are, Scrap. I feel like anybody who's earned something already, it shouldn't be given away in some other form. My opinion. If someone decided that the Amani Warbear that I earned through blood, sweat, and tears was given away because of a Twitch drop, because you have Amazon like every fucking American does.
You don't need Amazon to get this.
What the fuck ever? You know what I'm saying?
You just have to watch. You just have to watch the streamer.
I don't feel like they just give a different mount away, not something that.
Because this is something that it's prohibitively expensive.
First of all, it's ugly. No one gives a fuck about this mount.
Cool.
To be fair,
I can't wait to write on this on my death night. It's so fucking cool.
The second thing is, but my point stands. I feel like if I earned this by doing something important or relevant or time sensitive or whatever, I did that on purpose, thinking that I was going to get something that was exclusive to me. And now you're
not exclusive to
giving it away because someone has Twitch.
Can
That's
I step
fucked
in
up,
on this?
man.
If I were to give any concession to these whiny 14 people who spent $1,400 on this card or are still holding on eBay and are about to see this thing fucking crash.
Yes, they did.
People have done that. Yeah. These are the people who are upset.
Yeah, the concession I would give them
did
that.
hold on. The concession I would give them is have it be a different name. Just give it a different name. It's the same model. It's the same everything. But if people look at it, they're like, "Oh, you are a fucking dork who spent $1,400 on this," because that's what they want. They want that kind of like clout.
They would never admit it. They just say, "Oh, I just happened to get it in my cards."
Yeah, and that's fair.
Right.
If you're
People
playing the
are proud to have
TCG,
something exclusive.
that's the whole fucking point. Is that you got it from the TCG.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, if that's the thing is that if you pulled it, like I played the TCG and I never pulled them out, but I pulled pets and stuff, and toys. But like if you pulled it, it's like, okay, that was kind of cool. Like, but that was so fucking long ago, and
It's
now
like
the only way to get
2006 when they stopped making the cards.
Yeah, I know.
Even more
You're right.
important.
It's-
It's not less important.
These
Yeah.
mounts are completely inaccessible to most people, and they're just saying like, "Oh, we have these things lying around. People want them. Only
Lying
14 people are going to be
around.
mad about this." I don't see the issue, but I do see it. People are like, "Oh, I pulled this and I want it to be different." Just give it a different name, different entry in the mount book. That's it. And if you want to be a total completionist and have both, you spend $1,400, or it'll probably be a lot less. But it should be. I fucking hate scalpers as a card collector myself. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
fuck you.
So I
Absolutely fuck
gotta
you.
say, man, like as a Monty Warbear earner and owner,
This
I
isn't
feel
my
the
like,
Monty
God.
Warbear.
Hold on.
This is from
I
the
understand.
card game.
He's saying
matter.
that we're
Everyone
sliding down a
has
that.
slippery slope.
well,
There's-
no, I'm just
yeah,
saying.
You're
if-
saying
if-
completely different.
So no, I'm not. It's
Fucking are.
you can relate it to the same thing. You earn this thing through a source that's hard to get. Now
It's not
I
even
have
hard to
it.
get.
It's special. Do you have it?
It's RNG
Money
to
War,
get,
yes.
not hard to get.
Okay.
It's RNG to get.
What the fuck ever. Okay, so
I mean, there's a big difference.
so you
between
have
hard
it. It's
random.
RNG, whatever.
I
Who
have never
cares?
seen you ride
is-
a Monty Warbear ever on any character.
I ride it
Once.
every. That's the only mount I ride in the dungeon. 100%.
That's a lie. You're on the fucking Diablo mount half the time.
Well,
I've
you
never
can't
seen you on
see
the
me
armor.
when I'm on the Diablo mount because it
Yeah, I have
bugs out.
Never seen you on the Monty Warbear.
I ride it all the time.
fucking
I swear.
ever.
I'll go on my character as we speak
Irrelevant,
right
Your
now.
Honor.
Not irrelevant. I think that's important. I think that people need to know that he doesn't even fucking use this mount he feels so upset about.
It's the only mount I'm proud of owning.
I
Okay.
don't.
Amongst the 10 different, dragon mounts that I earned in whatever expansion it was that most of you probably don't have, the plagued and the black and the fucking rusted or whatever, the protodrakes.
Everybody has the rusted one, bro. You can get it in like 5 minutes now.
That's what I'm saying. But do you have the Amani Warbear? So the point
Yeah,
I was
I
going to make
do.
is they have the Amani Warbear and they have the Amani wannabe Warbear. Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay with me. If you have the Medivh's, or what is this thing called? The Ghastly Charger wannabe mount. Make it a fucking slightly different off-shaded mount, but make it known that you don't have the one that I have. Okay.
I'm down with that.
That's important. That's important.
I think Scrap already said that.
That's what I was agreeing
my
with,
whole
but it
point.
took a lot longer because I got interrupted 15 times.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
just rambling.
Well, that's the podcast. We're gonna interrupt each other. People gotta get used to it.
So, do you draw a line though at the spectral tiger mount that's worth
No, I
apparently,
would love to see the fucking spectral tiger hit the Twitch drops.
even though it's
you
like
know
an
what? And they-
$8,000 mount right now?
No, and they
I could
should
care
do
less.
that because the publicity on it would be fucking psychotic, and they would get so much publicity over it. And that's why they're doing shit like this. They're testing the waters and seeing like how many people are tuning into this, how many
they're
people
totally
really want this
detached right
thing.
now. Nobody gives a fuck right now.
I'm
They're
telling you that fucking spectral tiger is gonna hit the Twitch drops within the year, or not this year, but a year from
Thanks
now.
to your comments today, it might.
Or I'll
I
eat
hope
a
it
hat.
does.
Frank will send me a hat and I'll eat it. That spectral tiger
right.
mount is coming next.
Hats on the way.
You know what it'll be a 6-month sub. That would be fucking hilarious. That would be
Actually,
so funny.
I feel like the 6-month sub would be more justifiable than Twitch drops.
I don't think there's any difference in justification with that personally. But
Okay. I am going to. We had a couple things we were going to talk about, but for time, I'm going to skip them. I do want to talk about this, Shawnee.
what do we absolutely have to talk about before
I
patch
didn't
drops?
even know this was coming out, and I am. We're going to get into PvP this expansion, right?
I've
I
heard that
just-
rumor.
I'm excited. I love Battlegrounds at least face value. I love the idea of minecart ones. Like, what do you call that?
It's a new minecart one?
where you have to like push
yeah.
the cart. What's the
I love
style
the
of game?
Pandaria one.
It's a capture control type
Yeah,
thing.
capture control, right? So Shawnee, I just wanted to like, did you? How did I
read it
miss
all.
this? How did I miss this?
You know what? I think it's just new because I didn't hear anything about it either.
Well,
not a
I'm sure they
peep
said
until
something
today.
at BlizzCon, and I just like in the vastest
They
of
didn't
news.
mention anything at BlizzCon about it.
Well, you were there. I guess you would know.
Yeah.
But what's also there's like a new style of rated battleground called like
Yeah,
Battleground
they're gonna
Blitz.
Yeah, so you can queue up in a pair if one of you are a healer, and it's going to put you in an 8-person battleground, and the teams can be Alliance and Horde on the same side. And it's supposed to queue quick. You're going to get Conquest for it. You'll even get Conquest if you lose a close match, which is really nice. So you don't feel like you
really
wasted all
nice.
your time. And it has like parameters set for like if you queue up and there's no tanks in the queue, it will not give you any like capture the flag ones. So you have to carry the flag, so you don't have like DPS trying to carry a flag, and it's annoying. And they're quicker. Also, like some of the longer maps have like a 12-minute timer now instead of whatever
Well, that's
horrible amount of time it used to be. So yeah, it's hopefully gonna be kind of like solo shuffle is for arenas, but they're gonna do it for rated battleground type idea.
I think this is a good time for me to jump
That's
into
a great
PvP.
move.
Yeah.
That seems like a gateway the same way Solo Shuffle is.
I'm happy about it. I'm just like, oh, this is great.
We also have now, I feel like we're gonna have like a ton of streaming content too. We just like jump into all these
my God,
is
watch
all the
this
battlegrounds gonna
flail.
be blitzed?
Yes, all of them are available to be blitzed.
Oh, okay.
Even the
There's like a turbo
the
mode
heroic
battleground,
one,
which is kind of cool.
Kind of what, Scrap?
even like Alterac Valley and stuff.
Yep. Well, all the current ones that are in the rated battleground pool will be blitzable from what I read. So
I'm
yeah,
excited.
anything like if it's a 5-point cap, like I can't remember Temple.
Like Arathi base and all that.
Yeah, the caps, it takes 15 seconds to cap the flag now instead of 30. And you also in this mode you can pick up little buffs, and when you mount, your mount speed's like 80% faster or 100% faster because it's 8-on-8.
Jesus.
This is fun,
Why
but
didn't they
I
just
feel
put
like
a timer on the fucking thing, man?
They do
Oh,
too.
no,
They all have a timer.
I like this. Like it's
Not all of
more
them.
skirmishy, but it's
Yeah.
gonna make doing an actual battleground feel so fucking slow.
If they do
dude.
them, there's already a thing in some of the weekly ones where it is kind of like a battleground where it was 8-on-8. Anyway, it's like a weekly event.
Yeah, like
But it
the
was like
gravity
the-
laps and all that stuff.
Yeah. And they're changing it too.
yeah.
So like certain ones, God, I'm horrible with names. The ones, Eye of the Storm, you
I
can
love
only
it.
cap. You can only cap on each side one tower at a time total.
Oh, okay.
Because there's 8 of you a side. So, and then after that one's cap is over, you cap another one. Like it switches towers. There's like a timer on
That's
it.
kind of
This is-
cool.
Yeah, this is a really nice move because, like, if you want to do PvP like rated, you either have to do an arena, which is like a 2 to 3 minute time investment, or a rated battleground, which is like a 20 to 40 minute time investment. So it's like it seems
AV
like
would
there should be
take
something in
literally
between.
all day.
Ultra
Yeah,
Power is a
AV,
completely
but-
different beast, man.
Yeah,
It
that's
takes-
a totally different. Yeah, AV. Not thinking about AV, but just like a typical like Arathi Basin or Eye of the Storm or something. I mean, like most of the time it's like 10 minutes or it's not
Some
too
of
much,
those
but it could be
games could really
30.
drag out, though, man. Like,
Yeah.
like Warsong
Oh,
Gulch
yeah.
maps could go on for a very long time
Oh,
because you're looking for a cap
absolutely.
limit, and it's like, bro, some
Or, well,
fucking druid is
and to
like
be
hanging
on
on to
arena-
it in the corner of the map.
And you
Arena
get
matches can
farmed.
go long
Yeah.
too, but it's few and far between that you're having something go over like 5 minutes.
And
even.
the
So
Yeah.
the flag ones where you like carry a flag, they've made it now so the buff stacks on you for having the flag every 15 seconds instead of 30.
that's
So
nice.
it should
Well, still,
help get
but,
rid of people running around the flag.
They should just
Yeah, and wasting
just
time.
expose the flag holder.
It does.
They do after a certain
Okay.
amount of time.
It shows them on the map
Yeah.
as soon as they
Yeah.
get it. Like,
So-
you just-
Oh, as soon as they get it.
permanently though, because I
Yeah.
felt like
nope, they're there.
it's
As
been a
soon as-
while. So when I played in Shadowlands, I feel like that wasn't the case.
As soon as they
Um,
as soon as they get it and start running out of the building, you can see it on them.
Okay, cool. Okay,
And
that's not
like
so bad
on the
then.
mini map, you can see where they are roughly. Like, I mean, it tells you where they are, but they could be on the
Yeah.
second floor. It doesn't tell you that.
I'm excited to like. It's hard for me to say like I'm definitely going to do PvP battlegrounds again this season, but I would like to. I had a lot of fun doing it,
Dude, our
and
Discord's
if it's
becoming a PvP Discord. That's what
if it's rewarding at all, like I'll I'll enjoy doing it. You know,
And they got rid of vaults for PvP.
I saw that.
More
That's- and I
deterministic. Yeah.
I feel
Why
like
did they do that?
Because they felt like if you started 3 weeks late, it was really hard to catch up. And if you got like a weapon in your vault super early, that overpowered
Okay,
you compared to
that's
someone
totally
that
fair.
didn't.
They just made it
Yeah,
more
it-
deterministic to get your gear.
from
I
a
love that.
PvP perspective, it's like everything Shawnee just said was a summary of it, but I totally get it. And honestly, they probably should do the same thing. Maybe not remove vaults from PvE, but just like normalize what drops are available to the first week versus the second week versus the third week.
It makes sense with PvP because PvP becomes not fun when it's not fair, right? If you feel like somebody just has so much gear over you that it's impossible to get. Whereas PvE, it's like we're
The boss
competing with
isn't
each
getting a
other.
vault.
Yeah, exactly. We're competing with each other, but it is a collaborative game, right? So it's not like, if you get a really good weapon in your vault and I don't, well, we're still doing the same Mythic Plus, so you getting a good weapon is still good for me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am going to just quickly talk about beta. So again, Keystone Kindergarten.
See,
working
you
on
skipped over the Protection Warrior tab.
I did, yeah, I did.
Dude, because you're going to talk about it for an hour, Tekniq. You're going to go on some rambling story.
We are knocking on the door of a long episode, so I'm trying to move us quickly. I just wanted to call out real quick. So we did see some tuning done
funny.
to.
Look at him smiling.
Yeah, he is so happy with himself. We did see some tuning to the affixes, which is nice. I don't know if people are really happy with the the one that heals.
Well, they gotta ship it now. Like it's too late. They
got time to figure it out, because even if they don't get it right in week 1, it's not the end of the world. I'm still unsure though how these 4 affixes, the Zaltath ones, are going to rotate. Is it weekly or is it random? Because on the beta it's random.
Any fucking idea, bro? They have no clue.
But I did some tanking on my prop paladin. I was told by the healer, sorry dude,
You didn't do any tanking on your paladin.
Oh, can you put in that?
Sorry?
Can you edit that in?
The picture. So I don't know if I still have it. But yeah, they were kind about it, but they said, yeah, man, prop paladin's just not it. I'm leaving, and just bolted on a +3, by the way.
I was saying you suck and I don't want to deal with you anymore.
We were doing well too. We just had like one pull where the wipe was just like, I got smashed quickly.
Sorry, man. I'm sure you're great at this game and stuff, but it's just your class, dude.
I got so annoyed because I was trying to bubble just so I could like survive for a couple seconds, and it didn't. Like, it's on the global cooldown. Okay. Anyways, so what I did is I switched to healing. And that was very challenging. And so what I just wanted to ask opinions on is, I feel like what they're aiming for with all these changes is not necessarily to make tanking or healing harder, in a sense of, if you're with a group it's not that much harder, because that seems to be the collective feeling that I'm getting from the YouTubers out there, is that it is obviously a little harder, but it's okay, we're going to be fine. It's really just to make pugging more difficult. And I was curious how you would feel about that, because like, on the one hand, obviously I'm a pugger quite a bit. I don't want to have, especially as a mage, a harder time.
Are you saying they're making pugging more difficult by making prop paladins suck more?
No,
I'm missing
that by making healing more difficult.
Oh, making healing more difficult.
Yeah.
Well, let me give my opinion first on.
Sure, I'll just not say what I was going to say.
You don't finish, because I have an opinion about what you said already.
My point was just going to be that, like, if we were doing 22s and what would be now 12s, 13s, right? And granted, pre-patches made things easier, so let's just assume it's the hard 12s, right? And you're pugging them, that may not be the aim they want to go for anymore, right? They want to say, like, yeah, you can probably pug to get your, you can probably pug to your portal. But maybe past that is because, that's where also the 15-second timer hits, and you get the double fortified and tyrannical. I think you already get that at 10, but you get the double dipping of the tyrannical and fortified, all that fun stuff. So yeah, I just was curious, Scrap, you had an opinion that you wanted to share quickly.
Not quickly. I'll just keep it to myself. It's fine.
No, go on.
I think discouraging like not being in a voice group for higher keys is fine. I think non-voice group, like 22s, 23s to 24s, it's like, it's possible, but it gets toxic really quick. Like, there's some miscommunication between a DPS and a tank because it wasn't communicated. A pull goes badly and everybody leaves. So I don't know if making that worse.
We're gonna see that a lot more.
Yeah, we're gonna see that a lot more, but that's just gonna make it worse. Doesn't seem great. I mean, it makes sense design philosophy wise, but at the same time, pugging already fucking sucks. And it's hard to find a good group of people to play with. I mean, we've been doing it for years together, but it's not easy for everybody. Kids, obligations, only be able to play once a week and stuff. You're not gonna just luck into a regular dungeon group. So pugging is an important part of the game.
Do you think the dads and the 2 hours a night, if like once a week or whatever, players were worried about hitting 12s and 13s?
No,
but I do think people like. I mean, I'll give you an anecdote. Like Randall was talking the other day, I think it was Randall, about how he was pushing title with a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And that group ended up breaking up because they couldn't kind of like get everything together. They weren't able to be on the same page because it gets hard. It gets really fucking hard.
Anybody like pushing title is not like the rest of us. You know what I mean?
No, I understand that. But that's the anecdote. Yeah, that's the anecdote I have is that it's hard to keep a group together already. And to get a group and to keep a group together and to have people who are all on the same page. So
but
I don't know why they would make pugging. I don't know why it would be in their design philosophy to specifically make pugging harder.
Well, my philosophy on it was that you're going to see them trying to, because we got now warband / cross-realm guilds / everyone can join kind of thing. That maybe they were going to say, well, everyone keeps talking about the community being missing. Maybe this will like push people into communities more likely.
It's going to get people to unsub is what it's going to do.
Maybe. There's obviously an argument for that.
Yep, that's my argument.
What's the argument for that? Why do you think people would unsub because you can join different communities?
Because there's more work to do.
Because you're doing, like, let's say that you are only a 2 hour a night player. You don't have
what work does it take to join our community?
Let me finish my fucking thought. So you're gonna like you're 2 hours a night player. You can get maybe a healer who plays with you every now and then, a DPS player. But for the most part, you guys are pugging slots, and pugging is extremely toxic. You're doing it for 2 weeks, and you're like, why am I fucking wasting my time like trying to get points? Like I spend 40 minutes trying to get a dungeon together just for everybody to leave right away, and I get 0 points and my key knocked down. I'm over it, and I'm done. Like that's where
why I stopped playing in BFA.
No, that's literally where pugging is right now. And for them to make it worse, like, don't make it worse.
Tekniq, you say like obviously it's easy to join our community, which we'll do a promo of in a second.
Yeah.
But we're
this
also
is your chance to plug.
Well, I'm going to save it for later at the closing, like I always do. But we're also, I think, the exception to the norm because before this community, which me and Scrap and Shawnee and we all like founded, right? I pugged for 3 expansions because like finding a guild, especially on my server, again, now that's changed, but on my server was like impossible because they were all trash.
You're on Missing Worry.
Yeah, I'm on a tiny server.
No one's even heard of that one.
And even within my own server group, I don't even think there was a good server that had like a strong enough presence that if I was at the time Alliance, so Horde wasn't even an option to me, which Horde was better on my servers. So like I think that obviously all these changes will help alleviate that. Especially since now we can even have Horde Alliance on the same guild. I'm curious, like Scrap's right, I think it's a gamble, of course, but I'm also thinking this might be, like they might even have the data that suggests this might be pushing people into communities again, which is something that we, I think, all wanted. So I'm hoping that's the case. We'll obviously see the data as we go, Scrap, but...
Yeah, I know, we see that as we go. I mean, this entire argument is based on you feeling like you weren't doing very well on your Holy Pally, which could be just because you're not that good at Holy Pally. I just put it out.
No. So 2 things.
Two things. Smiling.
No, 2 things. Because I played on retail right afterwards, and it was insanely...
It's pre-patch. Pre-patch is the breeze.
I know, but like it's not like a breeze for healers necessarily. Well, maybe it is.
I mean, I wouldn't know.
But what I was going to say is that I went and did a 12, my first healing key in like a season and a half. I didn't even have a weapon. I just went and crafted one really quickly. We went and did a 12, and it was easy as I've seen maybe most keys I've done, right? And again,
I'm doing a 12 on my fresh fucking Death Knight who sucks ass. And
yes, I know, but you're also being carried by DPS, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying that you can carry a DPS through a 12. It's easy content.
I think a big point to keep in mind with this game is that it's unique in the sense that it is a team-based game, especially in a Mythic Plus environment. So the healing will always be difficult.
Yeah.
And like
the
challenging,
as far as
demanding, difficult, whatever word you want to use. And I think tanking in the same way, like it's anxiety inducing, like you got to know what the fuck you're doing, pull the right things, interrupt the right things, all that. everyone's got to be doing their job for things to go smoothly. And as a healer, if 4 other people are doing their job great, it might be easy for you. But if 4 other people don't know what the fuck they're doing, it's going to be very difficult for you.
That was going to be my point.
So, yeah, I feel like that's expected. You have 1 healer and 1 tank. Those 2 jobs will be harder in them as far as the team goal is concerned. They will be harder than the DPS role. I think, period.
My 2 takeaways was, before I got told by Scrap I'm a bad healer, it wasn't because I was struggling to keep up with the damage output. It was because people weren't doing mechanics. Right.
Yeah. So if you're rolling with a tank that doesn't know what the fuck's going on,
because I would always stop.
I'm
writing these damn scripts for Keystone. I know every mechanic now, and I would stop and tell them this is what you need to do. And they would flat out ignore it.
You can say, like,
they don't
you need
speak
to do
English,
this, but
Frank.
when you're but you can say, hey, you need to kick this, but when you're like in your rotation, sometimes you're forget.
No, it's not that. So there's a boss. This is what happens. So it's Dawnbreaker. There's a boss that has what's something called a dark orb. Okay, the way the mechanic works is you need to send it as far as you can away from you, because the further it travels, the less damage it does. Okay.
Yeah.
So the tank, we died like 6 times, right? And every time the tank's like, oh, what do I? And I'm like, no. So park it right here. And it wasn't even the tank's fault, because like he was trying. He was like engaging with the problem. And if you got selected for this dark orb, you had to point it down a pathway that would just send it like out of town, right? Send the orb.
Yeah.
And every time the DPS was chosen, it would just like, they'd be like, and not like even paying attention.
Frank,
and they would send it straight into the wall next to us, and it would kill everyone. And so
Frank,
my point, Scrap.
Okay, finish.
My point
okay,
is,
let me get to my point.
My point is,
if you're in beta, you're doing a lot of pulls. These people want to learn and understand.
Yeah, they're there to learn
for the most part. They're in beta.
You're acting
they're not
like
just fucking
this is
around.
shocking to you. But like, how many times did we do Jailer and people getting knocked into holes after we did it 75
well,
times?
first off, Jailer's an end boss, right? This was a +2. Okay. Yeah. Second, my point isn't that I'm surprised. My point is they built, because we've heard this multiple times, that they built the mechanics to be more, because you can't interrupt as much, and even when you do like stun things, you don't no longer interrupt them. You have to now actually interrupt them to stop the cast, right?
Yeah.
They've made things more challenging on a mechanic level that I believe they're trying to say, no, coordination matters, and it's the healers that are going to pay the price the most. Going back a couple weeks where we said, hey, are they scaring healers away? I said at the time, I don't think so, but I now am changing my stance on that. Not because healing is harder, but because people are going to blame the healer when they don't do the mechanics correctly, which has happened multiple times in my Keystone runs.
Understandable, though. Can we put a pin in this, right? Because I do worried we're getting...
Shawnee, I'm coming to you in a second.
Yeah. Just a small thought. I do worry that it's like we're jumping to this conclusion of like, oh my god, they're trying to kill Pugging from this like.
Well, I'm hypothesizing. I'm not jumping to conclusions.
But that's where the conversation has gone to. That we were kind of talking about.
Should be the title of the episode.
They're killing
Pugging is dead.
Yeah, Pugging is dead. When these are things that it might be just like, a couple simple mechanics get learned. Like, I want to put a pin in this until like maybe 2 months into War Within, when people have a reasonable expectation to know the mechanics at least in an 8 through 10 level, and then we'll see how much pressure is on the healer, and we'll do some pugs and see if the DPS are widely understanding these mechanics at an 8 to 10 level in a pug, or if they're not and they made a huge mistake. So
Shawnee.
That's my take.
All right, so. I went down Rank's conspiracy rabbit hole here of like, are they trying to kill Pugging? And did some quick thinking on it. And if Blizzard was like, hey, because a lot of people do say they miss when communities were a bigger thing, and Blizzard might be looking like, everyone uses Discord, communities are picking up, we're going to do small little things and make it like cross-realm, cross-faction, that to put more people together than separated. Because their biggest numbers for subscriptions were Wrath and Kata, and surprisingly, which will make people that don't like it, looking for group and looking for raid came in like partway through Kata, and that's when subs started dropping. So maybe they're like, hey, our best time is when more people, quote unquote, work together in these communities and groups, and that was our highest sub numbers.
What do you think about why is there a difference between a community and a guild, and why can't I be in as many fucking guilds or communities as I want to be in?
That's a
You
big.
can be as in many communities as you
Sure.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like why separate them?
communities,
Number
they're
one.
not
Well,
limited.
because guilds have banks and
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
things.
Who gives a fuck?
okay,
So
I
what?
do because I need
But-
somebody.
Okay,
to
so
repair.
if I put some item into Guild Bank A, it's not in Guild Bank B. Big deal. I have access to Guild Bank A and B, but I contributed to Guild Bank A and not B. So
I mean-
whatever.
Can you
Who
just
cares?
like steal things from a guild and then put it in another guild?
Can
Yeah, I was
you?
gonna
Can
say-
you just take whatever you want out of Guild Bank? No, you can't unless you have permission. So
But-
how many,
Okay, I have permission.
many guilds would you be in?
I think
Okay.
this is a long rabbit hole
So
we
Frank
can go
is
down.
so good.
I'm not.
He's in
I'm not engaging with
52
it.
guilds that
I'm not
he has
engaging with it.
access to take
Tekniq
from the
is
Guild
trying to
Bank.
get us to go down a fucking crazy rabbit hole
no.
in his insane fucking take of people
No,
should be
I'm
in more
just
than
saying,
one
I
guild
don't-
at once. That's what communities are for. You can be in more than one community at once.
I feel okay, but why separate it? And I feel like they're like
Because they're
lagging
different.
Why
Because they're different.
from the. Hold on,
It's
Shawnee,
the
I
same
got
thing
something
that
for
they're
you.
separated arbitrarily. They're completely different things. So
Okay.
put the foot down and put your foot down,
No,
please.
scrap. I
can't
want to
get
be
this
clear. I
conversation
want to be
out.
clear. I don't think this is a conclusion I'm extracting. I am just saying this is now my hypothesis. I am saying that healers are going to have it the worst out of everyone in the next expansion.
They
I
always
am
do.
Okay, they always
Well,
do. Yeah,
it's
when
getting
they had a
worse.
good
It's worse
expansion.
than it usually is,
And
right?
But it's been getting worse
Worse
for
in
like
Shadowlands.
3 expansions. Been getting worse for them. Every expansion is worse and worse for healers.
I thought Dragonflight was better than Shadowlands for healers, as somebody who doesn't heal. Because there's a lot less pressure for healers to DPS in Dragonflight compared to Shadowlands.
Well, no, but that's not. No, that's not what. No, the reason why it's
And
more
they got
pressure.
rid of explosive, and they got rid of all this shit that the healers
That's
had
true.
to deal with.
But they
Specifically.
put afflicted and incorporeal in. But the thing is,
fucking hate. They hate us. I hate those two.
but anyways,
got rid of them.
the reason why it's harder in Dragonflight, arguably, I don't know if I agree with this because, and again, we don't play at that level, is because the one-shot mechanics leaves healers in a position where they say, "I'm helpless." Right?
Yeah.
Well, healers can't help with that anyway, so
So just take
That's
put some
the-
sunglasses
literally the
on and not
point.
worry about it.
That's literally the
taking
point.
pressure off the healer and putting it on the DPS to use their
No, the
defensives,
point
which
is
they
the
should
healer's
have.
not a healer anymore. They're a DPS. They're a shitty DPS.
And the DPS blame the healer.
Okay, well that's a fucking DPS problem, not a healer problem.
No, it's a
my opinion.
fucking developer problem.
Scrap.
I don't think it's a
How
developer
many
problem. I think their
times when I was
community sucks
healing-
so
Oh.
bad.
How many times when I was healing, how many times, Shawnee, when you were healing, did one of the DPS die? And they may have not directly accused us or you or about them, but they
Hold
said
on,
like,
hold on.
Shawnee, what happened? And you're like, yeah, you got
This
hit with a
is
one-shot
not
mechanic.
a
and the-
Dragonflight thing. I have always blamed the healer, so I will not have the slander.
I don't think we're
I'll-
saying it's always.
It's
is
just
it harder
it's a
or not?
cultural phenomenon.
It's harder. It's harder, and it's
Yeah.
always been that's a
It's getting harder and
healer
harder.
mechanic. I mean, that's like the entirety of that meme.
I
want to
hear the fucking dedicated healers who heal, and that's all they do. Like, was it harder in Shadowlands or harder in Dragonflight?
I feel like
comparable
from
keys.
healers, it would be nice to have a healer to answer this question. I don't heal, but I
Yeah.
feel like from a healer perspective, it would be nice for more classes to have more abilities that reduce damage taken,
Oh no,
so you can preemptively
More
kind
butt
of-
bloat.
more button. No, more defensive bloat. Not
No,
even butt
just-
bloat, but
just
defensive button.
different
Which
buttons,
I do
not
recall
more.
Tekniq was saying
Okay,
he wanted less
hold on.
of before.
Hold on. A priest has like 4 different single target heals and they use one of them. Okay. So why not remove 3 of them and give them like more, like make bubble more effective. Okay. Make things like what's the iron fucking skin or whatever from a druid? Make
Iron
it
fur.
something that you can put on the whole group. Not iron fur. That's a tank thing, but what's it?
Well,
the
you
iron.
said a druid thing. What the fuck?
What's the druid external? The druid healer
For
external
the
they put in the
wild?
tank.
I don't
It's
know.
called iron fucking
Iron bark.
skin. Iron skin. Iron bark. There. Okay. So why not make that something that you could put on more than just the tank? In fact, I think they don't even use it on the tank so much anymore. They use it on the person that's most likely to die, i.e.
There are classes
Frank.
that have external
They put it
defenses.
on-
You play
they
a
put it on the fucking
warrior.
Frank.
Catching strays again.
No, but we do have external defensives. Like rally and cry. That's your
But
own
then-
fucking
but
class.
then-
Bro, I'm not what I'm
Tekniq,
saying.
we
I'm
get into
saying
the arms
healer,
race.
The healer starts to put defensive abilities on the DPS. Genuinely, this is a bad idea. I don't like this. I don't think the DPS should be like dying from no fault of their own. I hate that. I hate that the DPS is hitting one-shot mechanics because of no real straight up reason. Now, if you make a mistake, it should be punishing. I agree with that, but it shouldn't be like you make the mistake and you're just dead. I feel like the healer in every class should have something to do about it.
I didn't push very high. I mean, Dragonflight pushed higher than in Shadowlands, but like 3 to 3.1k. I never felt like that there were not one-shot mechanics in that sort of realm that weren't negatable by a defensive or a fucking laser beam, something that is definitely like on you and not on the healer to avoid. So maybe this is a problem for the higher level stuff. I can't speak to that. So I'm not going to worry about it until we actually see it in practice.
Okay. I'm going to quickly look here. I want to see if they have the delves in here.
Quickly look. Okay.
Yes, no, they don't.
So we're ending this.
No, I just want to. My question of the week is going to be delves.
Little outfit that Goblin was
6 more tabs.
Cute.
Is this delves? Is this? No.
What is the last thing we have to cover for everybody getting ready for the new expansion?
Well, I was going to ask the question. This is going to be my question. So what should you do in week 1 of War Within? And it's just fucking play the game. Stop letting everyone tell you a shopping list to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fucking play the game. I want to see these environments. I want to do the quest.
Here. Okay.
I'm just going to say that because he can't play for 3 weeks straight. So he wants everyone else to move slowly.
I'm just going to let the game
by then.
Just going to let the game lead me along.
My question of the week for you guys, delves. All right. Tekniq and I to practice one. I actually think Tekniq, we didn't give it a fair shake because there's different.
I've done more than just that one though.
No, but I mean, like level 8s and whatnot might be more interesting. I want to give him credit where the delves all look very uniquely different. So Tekniq, I'll start with you since we've already are you excited or not? Give us this letter grade of whether you're going to do them or not.
Well, like I said, depending on the rewards, I'll do them, but not because I'm excited about them, because I need a way to get certain rewards. If they reward flight stones, I would rather do a delve than go to some area in the patch to do quests I don't give a fuck about. Okay, so there's that. But my comment I want to make is I'm a little concerned that the game is leaning into a lot of different content strategies, I'm going to call it, that are taking away from this multiplayer experience and making it like, oh, well, anybody can log in and do what they want to do by themselves anytime they want.
Delves can be done with 4 people.
Okay, but delves can also be done alone.
Yeah,
and
so people don't want to fucking play with you.
Okay. Well, this is it detracts, I think, from the social aspect of a massively multiplayer online game.
Yeah, but I don't think
it's just an online game you play by yourself, which is kind of sad.
Think this is any different than like Torghast, where it's like you could play it with people if you wanted to, but like if you could also use it as a chore, like
that's fair.
In lieu of doing Torghast or something like that.
Totally fair comment. I liked Torghast a lot,
I
think that I've talked about it before. I think that has a place in WoW, and they could do more with it. But they're doing it not just with delves; they're doing it with basically the entire leveling experience. You never need to call on a friend to help you with anything. There's no like, hey, like I need a party quest. There's none of that. There's no like, hell, even the dungeons at this point, you can do the follower version of the dungeon just to experience it. So, to me, it's detracting a bit from what the MMO has, is. I don't know.
Yeah. What I think it might do is that people who don't want to socialize in the game can remove themselves completely from that. And then there's obviously like everybody that we play with. Like I play the game to play it socially. This something like a delve or a single player dungeon. I'm not going to get out of a single player dungeon what I want, like what I would get out of a Mythic Plus, which is to fucking run my mouth and socialize.
Well, it's also normal, so you're not even getting like fear.
That's true. But but I'm just saying, like, sometimes when I'm getting real sweaty and I'm trying to pull points out of my ass and whatever, I'll pug into the night by myself, and there's something to be said about it's kind of chill and stuff. But 80 to 90% of the dungeons I do, and definitely the raid, I do it in voice and I do it with my friends, and like I like that, like I'm here to socialize. But some people aren't, and this is for them.
Shawnee?
And that's understandable. But they make there's a lot of single player games out there for those people.
Shawnee?
No, Tekniq's point, I think they're just making it more available to more people is the idea, because it is something that you can do with and without people. So say if I do delves all week and then I need one more, and when I get on, none of my friends are on, and I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to miss this last vault. I don't have to pug it now, which is miserable, and it can take more hours. So
Here's,
I just
Shawnee don't pug it all at all.
I rarely do. I have enough friends. I don't.
He will next season.
But
I want to make a quick retort to
don't
that. The problem, it's a slippery slope, man, because you start inviting a bunch of single player people into an MMO, and now your graphs, your spreadsheets, so like only 50% of our people are doing raids. Now we got to make raids more accessible, and it just starts creating this fucking.
I don't know. I think that's a little bit.
That's exactly what's
I think
happening.
you're assuming that delves are for a target slice of the demographic that just is like, well, one, they already exist. They're already there, if that's your argument.
Yeah, well,
but I don't think this is an or scenario. I think this is an and scenario. And I think Shawnee's right. Like, if Haywire gets online, if I get online in the middle of the day and no one's online, but I want to do a quick lunch, WoW game, I could pug. But as Shawnee pointed out, pugging can be miserable, and we already are worried at being more miserable next season. And so I'd say, you know what? Hey, I'm going to go try that level 9 delve. I'm going to go try that level 11 delve.
Completely like that idea for those of us. Yeah.
I think that's their strategy is like, let's just expand options.
I would be really, really hype, and we've talked about this before.
We do a quest in a dungeon.
Tekniq, I'm sorry, give me a second.
Scrap getting a little of our own medicine.
I will be really hype if like the 8 to 11 range is like to the level of difficulty of like Mage Tower.
If I die in a dungeon, I'm gonna come back and fucking be excited. Okay.
I want to tell you Scrap.
If I die in a delve, rather.
So
after level 8, 9, 10, like 9 through 11 give you no gear higher reward, but at 11 you get a special version of the mount that you can already get from doing delves with special gear that'll look different from the other one. And they said they expect it to take months for people to like do an 11, and also they expect it to be equal to or harder than the Mage Tower. So like accomplishing it should feel great.
I hope it doesn't, like, because Torghast, they had like very high level Torghast as well that there were like rewards for, but you were able to kind of outgear it as the season drew to an end. Like it became easy to do those high level things. So I'm hoping
that's what they want. They want that.
Yeah, but was Mage Tower like that? I only did the refurbed Mage Tower.
No, it sounds like this is just going to be really like you have to really learn.
You have to
the 11.
Gear.
Yeah, it sounds their aim is this to feel like a Mage Tower at 11. So.
That's
I think you'll enjoy it.
I would be.
I've said that this game needs more challenging single target content because there is single target or single player content. There is single player content, but it tends to be easy as fuck. Like it's for the casual gamers. Like I would like a difficult single player experience, like a raid boss that is as hard as a raid boss. Like I have all the pressure as I would like in a heroic raid, but it's all on me. And that's why I like the Mage. Yes, I like the Mage Tower. I like Brawler's Guild wasn't like as hard as Mage Tower stuff, but it was fun. Like it had mechanics that you had to kind of figure your way out.
Some of the Brawler's Guild knocked me on my ass.
Some of them were really hard, but they weren't like, oh my god, I need to prog this. Like it was like you'll figure it out in a couple of tries.
I don't know about
I loved Torghast. Like Torghast was fun, new, exciting.
I love Torghast, but it wasn't perfect because you weren't like the buffs kind of ended up changing your character so much, I think.
Or you got a bad roll of buffs that you hated it.
Sure, yeah.
Exactly. I like more of like a pure Mage Tower where it's like, this is my character, these are all the abilities available to me in Mythic Raid and outdoor content. I just have to be like on top of, I need to play my class to the best of its ability. Nobody to blame, no healer to blame, just you.
Yeah, I think these two recurring themes like Torghast and Mage Tower, they should really roll with it, man. Just have one every season. Just have like
that's what Delves is supposed to be.
Well, Delves aren't either of those things, but
how do you know?
Both those?
No, he's done the beta, but we have to give it.
He's done a level 4 delve, and now he's the next one.
It's a fucking quest. Literally, jump on the mushroom, go and collect the thing, go and kill the things that are in your way to the next mushroom. Jump on the mushroom, collect the things. Get 11 of them, and the delve. That's the delve.
What's the 13th delve?
I don't fucking know, dude.
So then why are you running your mouth? The 13th delve is the Mage Tower.
Yeah. We gotta put
So
a pin in
nuts.
this, and in
If-
3 weeks we'll come back
Motherfucker,
and
I
do the
swear.
podcast and talk.
How can be
about
someone
how
so
much-
ignorant be so goddamn confident? I don't fucking understand it.
As he is Ray Gun, the
Still.
breakdancer from Australia,
It
when he gets
is.
on Discord.
Yeah.
Um,
0 points. All right.
Uh,
to
Poor person, they've
clarify,
been memed so
to
hard. It's
clarify.
really sad.
Scrap. Gear
Huh.
score will not be neutered like it was in the Mage Tower, because I think the intent is, just like Raid, just like Mythic Plus, you won't go into the 13th Delve immediately. But they want, by the end of the season, you to feel like,
Or
okay,
At
I've
least
got
say,
all my
like,
gear now.
Day 3.
Yeah.
I've got all my gear now. Okay, Tekniq, can we do a little thing? I'm going to start a
mute me.
timer.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to mute you. I'm going to start a timer on the day this game launches, okay?
Okay.
You have to beat
See how long
the
it takes for
13th. You have
13.
to beat the 13th Delve as quick as you can.
Faster than any of you?
Before any of us complete one.
you are the test subject, right?
All right,
Forget
fine.
us.
I'll be the fucking delve captain. Let's go.
The
Great.
second
Boring.
I'm gonna ask you, what do you think? How many days until you can complete that 13th Delve?
17 days.
Okay, write it down. 17
Okay.
days.
I'm fine with 17 days, but he just said 3.
That's only 2
I don't know what the
vaults.
fuck.
I was exaggerating, you dumb motherfucker.
Well, no, put your fucking number down. You said 17.
17.
That's it.
17. That's my fucking
I'm
day,
noting
dude.
it. Okay, 17.
Yeah.
So
Well, first of all, let's say 17 days after delves are open.
Okay.
well, Delve's
Fair.
open on launch, but the 13th Delve, the 13th
How about
Delve
17
doesn't.
days? 17 days after you hit max level. Fair.
I'll take that bet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I
Okay.
mean it's easier
Well,
on me, but yeah, sure.
according to him from last week, he'll be level 80 by minute 2.
I don't have
so
post-it notes, so Scrap. So you
6
got this
hours
for
in.
me?
I'm not writing that down.
He'll be
I'm
level
sure you
80
got
on
it.
day 1, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, 17 days from level
3 hours
80.
after the game opens, I'll be level 80. 3 hours.
Okay, write that
we
down,
are
too.
notating it. We are notating it. I've written it down. Okay, let's bring this
I've
to a
got
close. 'cause
look
we're
at
running late
this
again.
sick Blizzard notepad I got from one of my collector's edition purchases. Let's see.
Why do you
Let me
just
make a
have
note.
that on hand?
Wait, it's a note.
MythicDungeonLeague.com.
notepad on my
Email us at
notepad on my desk.
mythicdungeonleague@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter, League Mythic, and you can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/MDLFrank, where we will be now doing PvP as well as raids and M+. I am really looking forward to leveling. I'm really looking forward to playing with you guys in season 1. This is the last episode of the Dragonflight series of podcasts. I guess we could call it the season ending. So we're done with season 1, and we're now moving on to season 2 of Around the Mage Table.
Right?
Shawnee, any last words?
I hope everyone had a great expansion, and Lithian wanted me to say hi to everyone. So, hi
Lithian.
from Lithian.
I like Lithian. He's a good dude, man.
He hates you.
That's fine.
I'm joking.
And
he
the,
doesn't.
and the two of them are going to tech next season. Scrap call, last words.
I'm really excited for War Within. So
Yeah.
I hope it lives. I have very low expectations. I hope it at least lives up to that and exceeds it. So
This will be the first time I've played a beta without playing the leveling experience, and I think I'm going to be like so happy to just have skipped that part. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Tekniq, last words.
I wish Bobby Kotick never existed. And
He's living rent free in his head.
It's Bobby Kotick podcast.
I forget about his name
And-
until Tech brings it up.
Yeah. it's-
and for that reason, I'm out.
Okay, this is Dragon or not Dragon. What is it? God, what do they call that show?
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank, yeah.
Yeah. Is
Okay.
that the whole expansion or just the
So-
episode?
Dragonflight is over. I am very
Mhm.
appreciative of that expansion. I am super hyped about War Within. As I said at the start of the episode, we will have a couple weeks off, mostly for me traveling, and so I apologize.
Yeah.
But
You freaking 1%er traveling the world. Whatever.
we will try to come
Traveling
back
the
in
country.
the middle of yeah.
He's leaving the country.
I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to be in Shawnee's
I know.
neckish of
Wow,
the woods.
what a high level vacation that is.
It's a very nice
It's for my
place.
brother's wedding. Scrap. Thanks. Then I'm going to
Okay.
Disney World. Remember our Disney Minute? We killed that segment immediately.
Yep. We killed it. I
Um,
don't even remember what brought that up.
we will
That was the
probably
9th tab. One of the tabs was skipped.
It was Disney World.
people don't know the tabs technique. What the fuck?
What
You're
what
like
do you mean your
pulling the veil
screen is
back.
shared? What are you talking about?
No,
Frank,
it's
go get
not.
some
It's shared with
clothes
you.
Finish the episode, Frank. Finish it up.
Oh,
Thank you. 20
Wait,
episodes. I appreciate everything that's come out of it. I appreciate to whatever's going to happen in the next season of the game. I appreciate everyone. I act like this is the end of the show, but it's not. It's just a break. We'll see y'all when we get back, and have a great expansion launch. Take care, y'all.
Boop.